joints are never laced with some bass, cause I don't fuck with that shit. Like my dick when it run out of fluid, grab the matches. Watch where you ass bitch. This stoner classic so hard I'll have a session with some bougies and some ratchets. On God.
On God. Hey.
Then proceed to take a hit out the bomb.
Out the, yeah. Yeah, come on and say Mary. Yeah, Jane Mary. You made me wanna sing. I'm thankful that you come in different strains. Roll you up inside a paper plane. Many vacations in my brain. Ay. Open me up to many things. Mary. Jane. Yeah. Hey, okay, Mary. Yeah. What's down, chat? Another day, another reaction. You feel me? Man, how y'all weekend going, bro? Real talk. So far, it's Saturday. It's hot as hell. Hold on. My bad. Let me cut myself down. You feel me? Anyways, it's hot as hell today, and it was hot as hell yesterday. I think it's gonna touch 100 degrees out here in Denver, man. And it's not no humidity in the air, my boy. It's just dry as heat. And I'm not ready for that at all. But anyways, big day today. So I'm not going to try to be on too long. I do want to get into the NBA news that went down this past week. As far as Desmond Bane getting traded to Orlando. The Lakers getting sold for $10 billion. Big ones. You feel me? And then Game 7 on Sunday. It's going to be crazy. Between OKC and Indy. It has been a dogfight. It has been a fucking dogfight. And I'm here for it. So we're going to react to those. Try to do it as quickly as possible. Because later on today / this evening, I am going out, man. And I may vlog this shit too. Because I got to post some more on my YouTube. But I'm finna go see The Weeknd and Playboy Cardi at the Broncos Stadium in Power Fieldhouse. That's what it's called. It's my first time ever going to that damn venue. As many times as I've been living here, as many years as I've been living here. Definitely excited for the experience. I got a chance to see Playboy Cardi at Kendrick's show in Atlanta when I went to see him. Even though it was for one song, I still saw the nigga. You feel me? So hopefully this set that he about to do would be a phenomenal set as an ATLian witnessing another ATLian go crazy in the Mile High City. You feel me? And then, The Weeknd is really goated out here for real. I'm not as hip to the new Weeknd stuff as I am with like the older version of the Weeknd. But hey, after stream, I'm gonna tap in a little bit more with him, see what's good, and yeah, we're gonna rock it from there. But anyway, let me get this shit out of here. Anyway, let's stop all this yapping. Let me set up my first video that I want to react to, man. Yo, this is about to be a wild day. It's about to be a wild day. So the first video I want to react to, man, is the new Laker ownership, bro. The Buss family has officially sold the Lakers. Officially. They had the same ownership since 1979, I believe, when the OG, Jerry Buss, rest in peace, he bought the team and then drafted Magic, you feel me, from Michigan State. And him and Larry Bird are one of the reasons why the NBA is still here today. So definitely respect the pioneers, man, because they need all the flowers today, tomorrow, yesterday, and the next day. You feel me? So make sure all the levels are good. Alright. Shout out to the Flight Mike for the video, man. It's one of my NBA YouTubers that I be watching, man. Be going crazy. I saw this man on the come up when he had like a couple 100,000 people. Now he had 1 million. You feel me? So I aspire to be like this man too, and other creators that I'm inspired by. You feel me? So yeah, it's just brick by brick. You gotta stay on it. You gotta be consistent. You feel me? But anyways, let me stop yapping. Let's get to reacting, shall we? Make sure the volume good.
The Buss family is selling their stake in the Lakers to Mark Walter for a valuation of approximately $10 billion. A minority owner of LA since 2021 and also holds a stake in the WNBA's Los Angeles Sparks. The Los Angeles Lakers will have a new majority owner for the first time since 1979.
We just got some earth-shattering NBA news. News that I honestly never thought was ever going to break. News that is going to change NBA history forever. The Los Angeles Lakers, the team that Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and Luka Doncic called home, just got sold for $10 billion. Let me repeat that, $10 billion.
How we forget Shaquille O'Neal, Flight Mike? This man won 3 MVPs, final MVPs with this franchise, and you forget that name? I know he is a sensitive creature, but damn, like, put some respect on Shaq, my boy.
After 46 years, the Buss family dynasty is over.
That's
and
it.
This
wow,
is officially
bro.
the most expensive sports franchise sale in human history.
That shit wow.
According to Shams Charania, the Buss family is entering an agreement to sell majority ownership of the Los Angeles Lakers to Mark Walter, the CEO and chairman of diversified holding company TWG Global. Sources tell ESPN. Jeannie Buss will continue to serve in her role as governor after the sale.
Mark Walter, bro. Damn. It already say what he is, the CEO and the chairman of TWG Global. I feel like the only reason why this team is being sold is because after Jerry Buss passed away, rest in peace, the rest of the Buss family, like the kids, have been butting heads like a motherfucker, trying to fill the role of Jeannie Buss, who the dad gave the keys of the team to. You know what I'm saying? So it's wild as fuck to see this family go down in shambles. For all my people that pay attention to baseball, shit, the Colorado Rockies was going through the similar situation where it was family fighting family just to get the majority ownership of a fucking baseball team. Why not just own it together? Split it down the middle. Why somebody gotta be more greedy than the next sibling? Like, damn, y'all niggas grew up together and y'all beefing over fucking ownership of a team? And we not just talking any old team, bro. This is the Los Angeles Lakers, bro. If not the best, one of the best franchises in NBA history, bro. It has a decorated history. Like I said, even before Magic Johnson and Jerry Buss came into this shit, a lot of niggas aren't even hip to when the Lakers went in Minneapolis and they got their first couple of rings there. Shout out to George Mikan, rest in peace. Do your homework on that motherfucker. But dog, this shit wild as hell. Messing up family business like this. I hope that man ain't flipping in his grave if he haven't already. Cause that's some shit, y'all, for real. Anyway.
But here's the thing, this did not happen overnight. This is the result of years of behind-the-scenes drama, family feuds, financial pressure, and one of the most calculated business moves in sports history. And I've got the receipts to prove it. So before we get to the content, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow. Every like and subscription helps me afford Boba's dog food.
What the hell? I feel that though. You gotta plug in the dog food, man. I feel that though. Let's get to the content. Let's get it, Flight Mike.
You remember the 4-man I ran in my Luka Doncic video on Prize Picks? Well, that risk-free $25 hit. Now, if you didn't take that opportunity, you could still sign up for Prize Picks using my promo code microphone to get a free $50 when you make a play of $5 or more. And if you go into the description down below, there will be a link to join my Discord server where we've been hitting on baseball, WNBA, and NBA on a daily basis. And thank you, Prize Picks, for the sponsor. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why this sale was inevitable. Mark Walter was playing chess while everybody was playing checkers, and why this could potentially save the Lakers or completely destroy everything that made them special.
Yo,
when
for
Jerry
real.
Buss bought the Los Angeles Lakers in 1979, he paid $67.5 million. Adjusted for inflation, that's worth about $290 million today. And this is where your jaw is going to hit the floor. Shams Charania just reported that Mark Walter is purchasing the Los Angeles Lakers for $10 billion. That's a 14,700% return.
Damn. This man went from 67 M's back in 1979 to buy the Lakers to now somebody selling it for 10 billion big ones. Bro, that's scary as shit, bro. And that's just go to show you the economy. You feel me? The economy has boomed since 1979. Even though it's in the midst of a fucking roller coaster right now. But still, shit is wild to be. That's a big return. 14,700%. That shit is a big ass return, chat. No cap.
On Jerry Buss's original investment
What
and the
the
most
fuck?
expensive sports franchise purchase
Ever.
in history.
Right,
to put that
right.
into perspective, the Boston Celtics just sold for $6.1 billion,
Okay.
which was the previous record, and Walter just blew that out of the water by almost $4 billion.
Facts, by almost $4 billion, bro. Like, oh my gosh, that shit crazy.
For those of you guys that don't know, Mark Walter's the same guy who owns the Los Angeles Dodgers and is worth $12.1 billion. And he just
Oh.
became the new king of Los Angeles sports with the biggest flex in sports history.
So his net worth is 12.1 big ones. So that 10B was, I ain't gonna say it was nothing, but let's just say it was really an investment, for real, for real. And he already owned the Dodgers, who just won the fucking World Series. Another decorated franchise. Jeez, bro. This man is really the king of LA, like my boy Flight Mike just said. Move over, LeBron. Nah, I'm just playing.
But this story starts way before today. You see, Mark Walter didn't just wake up this morning and decide to buy the Los Angeles Lakers. This man has been planning this for 4 years when he bought Phil Anschitz's 27% minority stake for about one.
Hold on. Walter earned the first night of refusal if the Buss family ever decided to sell their 66% stake when he purchased Phil Anschitz's 26% stake in 2021. In other words, this has been positioned to go this way. Wow.
$1.35 billion.
Wow.
And here's the genius part. Mark Walter negotiated the right of first refusal if the Buss family ever decided to sell. Pretty much what that means is if the family ever cracked under the pressure, Walter could match any offer and automatically win. It's like he planted some sort of sleeper cell in the Lakers organization 4 years ago, just waiting for the perfect moment to strike. But why did the Buss family crack? And what pressure am I talking about? Well, that's where the story gets really juicy. Laker fans know that the Buss family wasn't just running a basketball team, they were sitting on a ticking time bomb. When you take a look at the math, it makes a lot of sense. Brian Windhorst broke it down perfectly in 2022, saying the Buss family owns 2/3 of the Lakers, and there are 6 Buss children.
The Buss, 67%. And there are 6 Buss children as part of the ownership trust and their core family business.
That's their core family business. They don't have a Microsoft stock that pays them hundreds of
Microsoft stock that pays them hundreds of millions. They don't have a tech
millions
company.
of dollars. They don't have a tech company. So let's say the Lakers make $100 million. That means the Buss family gets $67 million of that. And now you split that 6 different ways. All of them have about $10 million in change per year. So think about that for a second. Each Buss sibling owns 11% of a $7.1 billion franchise.
Damn.
That's $715 million on paper
Yo.
per season.
Hey, y'all so fucking ungrateful. Each one of y'all Buss members. Oh my God. Let me just get one of those M's from each of y'all, and I would be super satisfied. Shit, I can make that after flipping the M's that I received from each 6 of y'all Buss children, motherfuckers. Damn, dog. 715 M's a year per season. Nigga, that's insane, bro. 11% share of a fucking team like the Lakers. That's insane, bro. What the fuck?
But they only get about $10 million per year in actual cash. It's like being called rich on paper but broke in real life.
Okay, so let's just, even though he just read this, right? So let's just say the Lakers make 100 M's. That means the Buss family gets 67 million of that. So now you split 6 different ways. All of them have 10 million in charge per year. That sounds like a lot, but when you think about, hey, maybe we could sell 10% of the team and get 600 million for it or something, then all of a sudden all of them get 100 M's. Wow. I don't know if this is smart. Well, maybe somebody in that Buss family was like, hey, let's get more money. Maybe, I don't know. But still, like, damn. You already making 10 M's, bro. You already, based off of this sentence, you're already making 10 M's. Then you like, nah, let's sell the team so we can make more M's. Let's get into the 9-figure tax bracket. Like, whoa, nigga. Oh my God. You trying to touch a bee just like this Walter motherfucker.
Even though $10 million is a lot of money,
What?
you imagine that you'd be earning a lot more for owning the Lakers. But since that's being split 6 different ways, it's a much different story.
Right.
And this is where it gets even crazier, because this isn't just simply a financial issue. Do you remember when I said this was brewing for years? In 2017, the Buss family literally went to war with each other. Jeannie Buss fired her own brother Jim Buss from basketball operations
remember this.
after he failed to get the Lakers to the playoffs.
I remember
but
this.
Jim and his brothers didn't take it lying down. They tried to remove Jeannie from the board of directors entirely. This wasn't some corporate disagreement. This was a family trying to destroy each other over the control of a $7 billion asset. It's like the sports version of Succession. Jeannie had to file a restraining order against her own siblings, and Jeannie would win. She became the controlling owner for life and said something that hits way differently now, saying, I had to let my brother go. Year after year, not making the playoffs, that was not the brand of Laker basketball that Dr. Buss had created.
See?
But winning the battle might have cost Jeannie the war.
Yeah.
You see, while Jeannie was fighting her family,
Facts.
other NBA owners were laughing all the way to the bank. The Golden State Warriors paid $176.9 million in luxury tax last season. You know how much the Lakers paid? $6.9 million, the smallest amount of any team in the luxury tax. Steve Ballmer, the Microsoft billionaire who owns the Clippers, paid $142.4 million in luxury tax and built a $2 billion arena. Meanwhile, the Lakers coach Darvin Ham was literally telling reporters that luxury tax concerns were preventing roster moves. It's like watching a billionaire shop at the dollar store while their neighbor is buying Ferraris. The Buss family was playing small ball while everyone else was going all in. And this is why the sale is significant and where Mark Walter comes
that's a
in.
great one.
Because this story is about to get really wild. Because Mark Walter isn't just rich. He's changed the entire sport rich. This man runs Guggenheim Partners, which manages $345 billion in assets. When he bought the Dodgers in 2012 for $2.15 billion, he
Damn. This man just having money to blow. What? Not only did you just buy the Lakers for 10 big ones, you bought the Dodgers for 2 of them bitches too? Goodness gracious. Bro, that's crazy work. That's crazy work to be just sitting on that much money. Let me just own these franchises, bro. Like, what,
They
nigga?
revolutionized baseball spending. The Dodgers
my
just paid
gosh.
$103 million in luxury tax for 2024 alone, more than the Lakers have paid in the last 5 years combined. They signed Shohei Ohtani to a $700 million contract.
10-year? I don't know who has the better contracts between baseball or soccer, but to be getting paid 700 M's over a decade, that's lovely. That's fucking lovely as shit, bro. No cap. Damn.
And their 2025 payroll is over $375 million, but you can't argue with the results. The Dodgers have won 2 World Series championships since Walter took over, and the team value went from $2.15 billion to over $6 billion.
So is that the plan for LA Lakers? Because Mike just said since he bought the Dodgers, they done won 2 World Series. They done won 2 World Series under this man. So is that the plan for LA? Y'all done snatched Luka from Dallas. You feel me? Or y'all just pretty much got Luka from Dallas. Y'all ain't snatched that nigga. So y'all got y'all centerpiece. Y'all still got LeBron James. What we gonna do in the offseason that makes it make sense for y'all to really compete for a title? Because y'all need some big men and y'all need some more 3-and-D players, Lakers. So this gonna be a busy summer for y'all niggas. No cap.
Now imagine that same exact approach, but with the Los Angeles Lakers.
See?
If you guys remember, 4 months ago, something happened that should have been a warning sign. Shams broke the most shocking trade in
Ever.
NBA history.
Ever.
The Lakers
Fuck.
traded Anthony
Ever,
Davis to
man.
Dallas for Luka Doncic. The trade was so insane that people thought that Shams got hacked. Even LeBron James was stunned.
My guy AD said what he needed, and then he was gone the following week. So
Looking back, this was probably the moment that the Buss family realized that they couldn't compete anymore. They had to trade their second best player just to stay relevant. Meanwhile, teams with deeper pockets were building super teams, and they knew they couldn't compete with the likes of the OKC Thunder. They couldn't even compete with the Minnesota Timberwolves. So what happens now? Well, Jeannie gets to stay as governor, which means she keeps the ceremonial role while Walter makes the real decisions. Very similarly to Mark Cuban's role when he sold the Dallas Mavericks.
Got you. So they pretty much just playing the same position. Like the same shit Dallas is doing, LA is finally starting to do it. So this whole Luka trade is really starting to become way darker than it needed to be because of the behind the scenes bullshit that's now coming to light.
But here's what the $10 billion price tag truly means.
Wait, before you get into that. So now that there's a new ownership, right? There's new owner. What's his name? Mark Walter? Whatever. Since Luka didn't get the max extension in Dallas, if he does re-sign with LA, he better get that bag from LA. No cap. Cause ain't no way, for real. The caliber of player that Luka is, like, he is willingly deserving of that bread. This man has been a professional since he was a fucking teenager. Like, he came into the league as a franchise cornerstone for Dallas, getting the baton passed to him from Dirk. So it's just wild as fuck to me, man. It's wild as fuck. I just hope that boy Luka really get paid if he does plan on staying in LA. He better get that bag. That big bag. Because he deserves it, rightfully so.
Walter just made a statement that he's willing to pay any amount to own the Lakers. This isn't just about basketball, this is about creating a sports empire. And this is incredible news if you're a Laker fan, because this means that the Los Angeles Lakers are no longer going to be avoiding the luxury tax. No more penny pinching, no more watching other teams sign stars while the Lakers count dollars. Walter could literally afford to pay $200 million in luxury tax every single year without blinking. We just dropped $10 billion on a team. What's another $200 million to win championships?
Yo, for
now,
real.
This is where it gets crazy, because I said multiple times in this video that the Lakers were valued at $7 billion, but Walter paid $10 billion for them. The exact amount is actually $7.1 billion, making them the third most valuable NBA franchise behind the Golden State Warriors and the New York Knicks. Walter just paid 41% more than that valuation.
Damn,
because he wanted to make sure no one else could even compete for the bid. But
Right.
there's a dark side to this story. The Lakers have been owned by the Buss family for 46 years. Jerry Buss created Showtime basketball. He turned the Lakers into more than just a team. He made them a cultural phenomenon. Jerry Buss brought Hollywood to basketball. He created the Laker girls. He made games into entertainment spectacles and built the mystique that made players want to come to LA. Now all of that is gone. The Lakers are just another corporate-owned franchise. At the end of the day, as a Los Angeles Lakers fan, I definitely thought that change was needed. Since 2017, the Los Angeles Lakers have appeared in the NBA playoffs 4 times. In 2020, they won the NBA Finals. In 2021, they were a first-round exit. In 2023, they reached the Western Conference Finals. And in 2024, once again, they were a first-round exit. So a huge change needed to be made. And although I have a lot of love and respect for the Buss family, it was very clear that if the Lakers wanted to take that next step, they needed corporate ownership. So if you're a Laker fan, let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about this sale. Aside from that, I don't know if you guys heard, but the Golden State Warriors are planning a huge trade. I made a completely separate video on that, and I'm going to leave it in the end screen to meet you guys there. I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I'm gonna leave all the trade talk like officially done until like we reach the beginning of next season, for real, because real shit, y'all, like I don't know, it's gonna get real tricky real soon come this off season. Once game 7 is done, these franchises are gonna be making hella moves, bro. Hella. Like, we just saw Desmond Bane get traded from Memphis, you feel me, to Orlando for KCP, Cole Anthony, and some fucking picks. Still, that trade and the pieces along for the trade to work doesn't even come close to what Luka was even worth for the Laker trade. You know what I'm saying? So this is really a mind-boggling mindfuck right now. I really don't know what to think or what to expect, but that shit really threw me for a loop, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. That shit really threw me for a fucking loop. I don't know what to expect, bro. So real shit. Let's get into that, bro. Let me see. Let me find it real quick, man. Boom. Alright, come on. Shout out to ESPN, man. Don't kill me now, but I really want to know how this came about, bro. Hold on. Actually, nah. Damn that. I'm gonna find if I could type. Can't type right now, chat. This is the video I was looking for. I bet. Shout out to the score for the video. Why Desmond Bane is worth the price Orlando paid. So it sounds like this man about to justify why this is a valuable trade. We're gonna see what he talking about. Let's do it.
The first big move of the NBA offseason didn't feature Giannis Antetokounmpo or Kevin Durant, but rather Desmond Bane, with the Orlando Magic placing a massive bet on the former Grizzly after going 3 years without acquiring a player via trade. Here's why that bet will pay off.
We gonna see. You better make it make sense too, dog. No cap.
At first glance, 2 rotation players and control of 5 first-round drafts.
Like, okay, bro. This is what blows my mind, bro. Like, how does people like Mikal Bridges, Desmond Bane, Rudy Gobert, how do these niggas get 5 draft picks traded for these niggas, but not Luka Doncic, bro? Like, Luka better than all of them niggas, even if they were to combine to be a random ass creative player. Luka's still better than each of them niggas, individually and together. So I don't understand why you get 2 players and maybe a first for somebody of that magnitude. That shit wild. But Desmond Bane get 5 picks along with 2 players? No offense to Desmond Bane. He's a great 3-point shooter. When he own. But damn, he ain't worth 5 draft picks. And that's the same shit that people at ESPN was saying. I ain't want to play ESPN because I ain't got time for them trying to strike me and shit. Fuck that. Stephen A. Smith said that shit. Brian Windhorst said that shit. I think Perk might have said something too, but it just makes no sense to have 5 draft picks for a player like Desmond Bane, and you can't have that for a player like Luka Doncic. Make it make sense, bro. We talking about a generational franchise player in Luka Doncic. Desmond Bane ain't that. No offense. Rudy Gobert ain't that. No offense. Mikal Bridges isn't that. Even though he's more valuable than any of these niggas I just named, because he don't get hurt, he still isn't that. Straight up. This is sometimes I question these owners, bro. Like, what are y'all doing to make silly ass trades like this? Let's get back to the content, dog.
Draft pick seems like an incredibly steep price to pay for a 0-time All-Star. But that oversells the value of those picks, undersells the caliber of player Bane has become, how well he fits with the Magic, and where Orlando finds itself in the competitive cycle, which is suddenly the fringes of contention. Let's start with the picks, 3 of which are headed from Orlando to Memphis outright. The 16th pick in this year's draft, plus unprotected first-rounders in 2028 and 2030. Then there's a 2026 swap in which Memphis will receive the least favorable of Washington and Phoenix's picks, and a top 2 protected 2029 swap between the Magic and Grizzlies. To start, you can consider one of those picks the cost of dumping Kentavious Caldwell-Pope's negative value contract. Second, the Magic projected to be a middling East team at worst before this deal was consummated. The chance any of those picks would have turned into a Bane-level player was slim. Now, could that draft capital have been stashed and eventually traded for a bigger star? Perhaps, but it's unlikely the Magic were going to win any of the upcoming superstar sweepstakes. In the meantime, they've added a borderline all-star just entering his prime, who fills a team need and is under contract through 2029.
It's really enough for me.
Bane isn't a top-tier creator, but he's underrated in that regard and far more than just a play finisher or catch-and-shoot specialist. The 27-year-old is a legitimate 3-level scorer who brings the shooting, spacing, and movement desperately needed to unlock a Magic offense that hasn't finished higher than 22nd in efficiency since 2012.
Okay. I like that breakdown right there. Good shit, Joseph. That still doesn't answer my question though. Like, when Bane is on, he on. That's facts. He's not a ball dominant person. He can still play alongside Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner. But I don't know. Is he gonna play the same role that he played in Memphis when he was alongside Ja and Triple J? Or is he gonna be more handling the ball? Is he still catching, shooting? We won't know until next season, come October, bro. For real, for real.
A career 41% three-point shooter on more than 6 attempts per game, Bane can punish teams on or off the ball. He's averaged 20 points per game over the last 4 years while flirting with 50, 40, 90 shooting splits, and he's grown considerably as a playmaker.
That's true.
One of the most impressive aspects of Bane's offense has been his ability to maintain efficiency while creating more of his own looks. As a rookie during the 2020-21 season, only 29% of Bane's two-pointers were unassisted, and just 7% of his three-pointers were self-created. In 2024-25, Bane created 57% of his two-pointers and 37% of his long-range buckets while posting the exact same 60% true shooting mark in years 1 and 5 of his career.
Yeah, consistent.
Bane's negative wingspan has often been cited as a defensive concern, but he puts forth an honest effort on that end of the court, and he'll be well insulated as part of an elite and sizable defense in Orlando. The Magic are a more complete team today, with an offense that should be much tougher to shut down. Bane's arrival will feel like manna from heaven for Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner, whose jobs are going to get a lot easier with Bane sprinting off screens around them. That's a scary thought for opponents, given what Banchero and Wagner have already been able to accomplish with little space to work with.
I've got nothing to work with here.
Bane's contract, like the picks surrendered for him, will be a point of contention. He still has $163 million owed to him over the next 4 years. But the league's salary cap should grow by 10% year over year thanks to a massive influx of new media rights money.
Niggas is getting paid to dribble a fucking basketball, bro. Just to dribble a basketball and shoot that bitch, you getting paid this? Shee. Boy, this is wild, man. But I know a lot comes with it, you know. You got to condition every day. It's a lot of games, a lot of travel, media, all type of shit, you know. Your likeliness to be on video games, all of that comes within this cap hit annual list that's highlighted right now. These are some big ass numbers. But hey, it comes with a lot. You dig?
$163 million owed to him over the next 4 years. No. But the league's salary cap should grow by 10% year over year thanks to a massive influx of new media rights money, meaning Bane's salaries will be worth between 21 and 24% of the cap each season. That's fine for a player of his ilk, though the Magic will have to get creative to duck the second apron beginning in 2026-27. Bane himself is an attractive asset, just as Banchero, Wagner, and starting point guard Jalen Suggs all are.
I forgot about Suggs. I'm over here thinking this whole time who's gonna be the starter, Jalen Suggs. So, cause Cole Anthony gone, and I don't know why I would kept thinking about Markelle Fultz, but I knew he wasn't a starter. I forgot Jalen Suggs hurt himself last season. So damn, the 5 is gonna be Suggs, Bane, Banchero, and the Wagner boys. Or Anthony Carter can still. Anthony Carter. Wendell Carter can be the center. That's a strong 5, though. That's a strong 5. I can't cap you down. And I guess the ice trade rumors of him going to Orlando is all done for now that they done wouldn't have got Bane. Which I'm kind of grateful for. We still keep Trey. I don't know, man. I don't know if he's gonna stay though, or probably request a trade during the trade deadline. But hopefully we can get pieces that can really play basketball and want to win some shit in Atlanta. We're gonna get Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson will be back from his injury. Zachary Richardson would be better. Onyeka would be better. We lost DeAndre, who was balling, and Bogey. But Karis LeVert and fucking Niang, boy, if we keep them two, man, and they stay consistent, we could really make some shit shake in the East, bro. Regardless of New York, Milwaukee, whatever they decide to do, Boston, Orlando now, fuck it, Indy. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of teams that's really about to be on the rise now that the Celtics are gonna be kind of trash this upcoming season due to Tatum's injury. But shit about to be wild in the East.
Also Tristan Da Silva, Anthony Black, and Goga Bitadze. Plus, the Magic still own 3 first-round picks and 11 second-rounders between 2026 and 2032, so they can make more moves if necessary.
Yeah.
For now, though, Orlando has a dynamite two-way core of 27 and younger talent, all under long-term team control. That gives them a real chance in a wide-open conference. It's true that not every team would have taken this shot, but kudos to the Magic for having the guts to.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video and want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh, speaking of, I also wanted to get into this, bro. That boy Tom Thibodeau. The nigga do not know what a bench is. But he got fired from the Knicks after the Knicks fell short of the NBA Finals once again. So let's see what this all about, y'all. Let's get it.
Tom Thibodeau's reward for leading the Knicks to their best season in 25 years was walking papers. Tibbs reestablished a winning culture in the Mecca, but like many coaches, he was ultimately undone by the expectations he helped create.
Yeah.
It feels cold, but that doesn't mean it was wrong.
It feels cold. He said it, but if you're wrong, nigga, you're wrong. Straight up.
There's no denying Thibodeau's influence in New York.
Yeah.
The Knicks averaged 46 wins per 82 games during his 5 seasons, making 4 playoff appearances and winning 4 postseason series in his half-decade run. To put that in perspective, the Knicks had won just 1 playoff series and made 5 trips to the postseason in the 20 years before Tibbs arrived. So many will feel New York did him wrong. And critics will call this an overreaction to the Knicks' East Finals loss.
Oh shit, when was that? When was this? Look at y'all see that nigga on the top, right on top of Thibodeau over here like I don't know what's going on and I don't wanna know.
New York did him wrong. And critics will
Look
call
at
this
his
an
ass,
overreaction
he's
to the
just
Knicks'
scratching the
East
back of
Finals
his
loss.
neck
New
like
York did him season in the 20 years before Tibbs arrived. So many will feel New York did him wrong. And critics will call this an overreaction to the Knicks' East Finals loss.
Oh, dog. I don't even know what's going down between Josh Hart and Tibbs, but this man, coach is just like, nah, I don't want no part to this smoke. I'm fucking dead, bro. I'm fucking dead.
And the franchise is headed back to its worst impulses of the past. After all, their search for a replacement has thus far been embarrassing, and they still owe Thibodeau $30 million.
Sheesh.
Excuse me? $30 million.
But I'd argue the opposite. This was the action of a title-starved franchise so close to the mountaintop it can almost touch it. An all-in contender fully aware that even the smallest gain along the margins can be the difference between agony and euphoria, between ending a 50-plus year title drought or not. Now, it's fair to point out that improving along those margins, or on the sidelines, might have been New York's only option because of the assets already spent constructing a flawed roster. Thibodeau can't change the fact the team's 2 best players are porous defenders, nor can a head coach recoup all the draft picks spent on Mikal Bridges.
Which was dumb, might I add. Like, I just said that about the Bane shit. Like, why are you having all these draft picks for a fucking role player? This ain't no superstar. This ain't no all-star. It's not no franchise player. This is a fucking role player. This is a fucking role player that y'all paying hella money to, bruh. Like, this nigga is a fucking franchise cornerstone. He not. He not. It is what it is. He's not, bro.
Malone, Jason Kidd, or whoever inherits this team going forward will have to deal with those same harsh realities. Unless New York can pull a Kevin Durant-sized rabbit out of its hat. But Thibodeau wasn't blameless for the Knicks running into a 3rd-round wall. As the Knicks' longest playoff run of the 21st century unfolded, a run reportedly marked by multiple players-only meetings, it became painfully clear New York needed a more creative and modern offensive approach in addition to requiring more depth. And for all of Tibbs' defensive strengths, no one should confuse him with the type of coach who will address those two core issues. For one, he probably wouldn't have trusted whatever depth pieces the Knicks added this summer anyway. Thibodeau's insistence on playing his starters heavy minutes has been a trademark throughout his career.
Yes.
Even Bridges, the NBA's ultimate Iron Man, thought Tibbs went too far.
Yes.
2,500 push-ups and 1,000 suicides.
Shout out to Coach Carter. But nah, that's so facts though. Like, bro, honestly, I'ma say it. I don't think anybody else said it, but I'ma say it. Tom Thibodeau is the reason why Derrick Rose hurt himself and wasn't really the player that we all wanted him to be. We still love D Rose for who he came out to be, even after the bullshit of that injury. But if Tibbs would have sat his fucking starters down after sealing game 1 versus Philly of that year's first round playoffs, we would still probably have more time enjoying prime Derrick Rose. But nah, bro. Like, y'all niggas already secured the W and y'all still running with the starters. That was my ultimate gripe with Tibbs, bro. Like, what more reassurance do you need to win the game when you could just look up at the scoreboard and see with the amount of time left and the score, you don't need to be playing these niggas still. Rest your starters. This is a fucking marathon, not a sprint. Like, I understand if this was game 7. By all means, run the starters to the floor. Win or go home. I get it. But game 1, my nigga, of 7, you want to rush your starters and run them to the ground? That's why you keep losing. That's why you'll never be an NBA champion as a head coach, Tibbs. Like, damn. How would you feel if somebody ran your fucking ass to the ground like that as a player? You'd be mad as shit. You would want coach to ease up on you too. I ain't being hypocritical. I'm just saying it. I'm calling it how I see it, bro. That fucked up. Like, give these niggas some rest. And not just 2 minutes. Have them rest for 5-6 minutes of a quarter. If they need to. Especially if you're going to need them in the fourth quarter. Like, dude, I'm not even nowhere near a coach. But I have a smart enough IQ to understand when a nigga needs some rest. Come on, man.
That workload was one of the complaints Knicks owner James Dolan and team president Leon Rose reportedly heard from players during exit meetings.
Yeah.
As for the offense, the Knicks should have maximized every ounce of Towns' potential and his two-man game with Brunson to negate the duo's defensive flaws.
Yeah.
They didn't. A top 5 regular season offense was masking the fact New York was sliding after a hot start, while the Cat Brunson two-man game wasn't leaned on enough during the playoffs. New York also ranked 28th in three-point attempt rate, while Towns, the self-proclaimed greatest shooting big man of all time, posted his lowest three-point attempt rate in 6 years.
Yeah.
If one thing did Thibodeau in, it was that rigidity.
Yeah.
Look at the head coaches who were left standing in the finals. Rick Carlisle has adapted his coaching style and offensive philosophies over the years to suit the talent at his disposal, going from wanting to call every play at one point in his career to trusting Tyrese Halliburton to run a read and react system.
And that's the game of basketball today. Like, sometimes it's cool to call a play, whatever, but if you don't have trust in your star point guard, or even if your point guard not a star, if you don't have trust in whoever is running the offense, then you already lost the old team like that, for real. You already lost the team. You got to be able to trust these niggas. You can't physically pick up a controller and play as these niggas, as a real life head coach. This ain't 2K, nigga. This is real NBA basketball. So if you can't trust your players to run the offense or read and react just like the video just said, you lost your team. Now you 1 foot out the door. Because the team can't trust you. And management that's over you seeing that and overhearing that. Eavesdropping, if you will. So it's just crazy how Tibbs is still stuck on being an old school minded coach. This ain't the 80s, nigga. This ain't the 90s. It's not even early 2000s, nigga. We are in 2025. More than halfway through the fucking year. This is a new era of basketball. And honestly, more entertaining. So if you can't keep up as a coach with today's era of basketball, your ass need to be at home, retired. Straight up. Straight up. There's younger coaches out here who can keep up with today's era of basketball and thrive. There are coaches that are old that learned how to adapt to today's basketball, and they're thriving. I don't know what else to tell y'all niggas, bro.
Meanwhile, Mark Daniel threw everything in the kitchen sink at Nikola Jokic on both ends of the court in a second-round series win. The Knicks don't have the personnel to replicate what OKC did against Jokic or what Indiana does with Halliburton leading the break.
Yeah.
But you can bet the front office watched Carlisle, Dagno, and other coaches this spring and were left wanting more from an adaptability standpoint.
I can't do this anymore.
The Knicks still have things to figure out before taking that last and toughest leap up the NBA mountain. Among them now, they need to find a head coach who can live up to the standard Thibodeau left behind, and then some. It seems unfair to a tireless working basketball lifer, but it's also completely defensible. These are the ruthless decisions contenders need to make when their eyes are on the prize and nothing else. The Knicks are finally in that space. No one said it'd be easy.
That's real though. That's real though. That's real though. There has been talks about Jason Kidd being a new Knicks head coach. He has played for that franchise before, so, and I know he's still sad about Luka being gone. So it might just be a possibility that that head coaching job is already belonging to Jason Kidd, bro. But if he declines it and sticks with Dallas, bro, Michael Malone is another great candidate. Mike Brown is a phenomenal candidate. Sacramento did that nigga so dirty, bro. So dirty. So fucking dirty. That's why them niggas suck. They had that 1 year where they went crazy, made it to the playoffs. That was cool. But then after that year, after that season, it was done for. I'm like, what, bro? Like, how? Like, how? Why would you be such a fucking, like, this nigga won Coach of the Year for that? And y'all niggas hating on him like that, bro? That's wild, bro. That's wild as shit, dog. No cap. Man. Anyways. I'm actually ready for all the trade talks and shit to come on, bro. These trades are about to be something. Okay? It's about to be some shit, bro. Oh, boom. Which leads me to my next segment. Before we get into any trades, there's still a series that needs to be done. Tomorrow, Game 7 of the NBA Finals between the Oklahoma City Thunder, who I chose to win, and the Indiana Pacers, who have been the underdogs of this whole fucking playoffs. No cap. What the fuck, bro? Let me see. There was a video that I was trying to find, bro. See if I can find it right quick. It was how one trade built both finals and surprisingly, I thought it was the Paul George shit that everybody talking about. Because, yes, Paul George did start his career in Indy. Then got traded to OKC. That is facts. But apparently, it's deeper than that. Apparently, it's deeper than that. It goes deeper than Paul George, bro. So, let me see if I can find this fucking video. Because when I saw it while I was just scrolling on my YouTube, I'm like, look here, bro. This is something that I would love to react to with you guys. Because what? Oh, is this it? Is this it? Yes, sir. I found that hoe, man. I found that bit, man. Shout out to Hardwood Vault for the vid. How one trade accidentally built both finals teams. Y'all seen in parentheses, it took 20 years. That Paul George trade did not happen 20 years ago. Nigga was not even in the league 20 years ago. Okay? So, that right there already tells me it goes deeper than Paul George. Paul George is the surface level, right, of the reason why these two franchises are who they are and at the biggest stage of basketball. It makes sense. But you can't always look at surface level shit and expect it to be it. Everything has deeper meaning behind it. It's up to you to do your fucking homework on the deeper meaning. So that way you can be more smart and sharp with your knowledge compared to just hearing he said, she said bullshit. You feel me? So I'm gonna quit yapping. You know the rest.
The 2025 every NBA Finals has a story.
There we go.
The 2025 NBA Finals is a story that started with a trade no one paid attention to. Just one player sent out for almost nothing in return. And
Rashard
that
Lewis.
single move triggered a chain reaction, a butterfly effect that reshaped two franchises on opposite ends of the league.
What?
And nearly 2 decades later brought them face to face on the biggest stage. No other finals in NBA history has a backstory like this.
Bro, this is spicy. You mean to tell me a quiet sign-in trade for Rashard Lewis is the reason why we're here today with these two motherfucking franchises? And Rashard Lewis was a sharpshooter, but do your homework on Rashard Lewis. When he was with Seattle, when he was with Orlando, that boy had a weird fucking shot, but that bitch was cashing. No cap.
Let me show you how it all began.
2007. Oh, shit.
It's a chilly night in Seattle.
The summer of 2007 was a funeral in slow motion for the Seattle Supersonics.
Yeah.
Turns off the main screen and top three.
Ray Allen had just been shipped to Boston, and the ownership was loading boxes, heading to Oklahoma. Rashard Lewis, the second-round pick, who blossomed into a 22-point flamethrower, was walking out the door.
I didn't know he was a second-round pick.
To sign a massive
contract. He's 6 years, $118 million. Even though that was back in 07, that's still big boy cash. You know what I'm saying? Big boy cash, boy.
Seattle could have let him go for nothing, but Sam Presti doesn't work like that.
Sam Presti, hey, bro, that's the GOAT of any type of team management, bro. This man has had his hands in so many different situations of drafting GOATs. You dig? Like, I'm not even going to spoil the video because I feel like he's going to say what I'm about to say. So
my job is to think in the best interest of the organization long term, something that can be sustained.
On July 11th, 2007, the Sonics orchestrated a sign-in trade, not for a rising prospect or a future lottery pick, but for a second-round pick. Less
Wow.
than 10 days later, on July 20th, Presti sent the second-round pick for Kurt Thomas and 2 first-round picks.
Huh.
The Phoenix Suns were contenders. They couldn't care less about those 2 picks. But Presti wasn't done casting spells just yet. One became Quincy Pondexter, an unspectacular journeyman.
Yeah.
But the other,
The Seattle Supersonics select Serge Ibaka from Brazzaville of the Republic of
Yeah, say.
Ibaka, a 6'10"
Yeah.
rim destroyer out of Congo. And that was just the beginning. Kevin Durant was already there.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook arrived next.
Yeah.
Then James Harden.
Yeah.
2012, the OKC Thunder weren't rebuilding anymore.
Literally, this man drafted 3 MVPs back to back to back. From Kevin Durant to Russell Westbrook to James fucking Harden. 3 MVPs, y'all. Back to back to back. This man needs flowers yesterday on the job that he has done drafting incredible talent, bro, to expand our basketball game to what it is today. That man needs flowers ASAP, bro. No cap.
GM Sam Presti. Look at this team that you've put on the
Sam
floor.
Presti, bro.
For the NBA
Goated.
It's remarkable. It really is. It's a credit to the coaches and the players. We've just got a special group of people.
Goated.
But far across the country, another storm was gathering. It was 2013, and the Indiana Pacers were led by
PG. That's my favorite play. That's my favorite PG play, bro. Favorite all time. Favorite all time. Hands down, favorite.
We are seeing a superstar in the making now. You let it go. How far was that?
Paul George led the Pacers to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they stood eye to eye with the defending champions. The Thunder and the Pacers, 2 young teams, were hungry, and they wanted more.
What'd I say? Okay.
But the future doesn't come in straight lines. In Indiana, the gears began to grind. Paul George was blossoming into a superstar, but around him, the foundation was cracking. The chemistry that once felt bulletproof now felt brittle.
4th consecutive year, the Miami Heat are heading to the NBA Finals.
And in Oklahoma, the dream was splintering. Just months after reaching the finals, James Harden was traded to Houston. They still had Durant. They still had Westbrook.
They didn't want to pay James Harden that bag. That's why. They didn't want to pay James Harden that bag, bro. Imagine if James Harden got paid that bag and started. OKC would have been had their first championship a decade ago. They would have been had their first championship, bro. Who would have said Golden State would be the dynasty we know them as? If only James Harden would have got the bag from OKC. Who would have fucking thought, bro? Crazy. It's those what ifs that always like spark my shit. I'll be so wired just like thinking about all the what ifs, bro, that really could have happened, bro. Like, here's another one it has something to do with Indiana since they're in the finals, but just watching Game 6, seeing Reggie Miller front row with his son. You got Metal World Peace in the building. Fucking Roy Hibbert, even though he wasn't a part of that era of Indiana basketball, more so this era with PG, Granger, etc. What if the Malice in the Palace never happened? What if that never fucking happened? I feel like Indiana would have had a chip on their shit by now. I don't know. I feel like it might have been, because if I'm not mistaken, the Malice in the Palace was 05? Let me look this up. Malice in the Palace. 2004. Okay. November 19th, 2004. Wow. I remember that day vividly too. I done told this story a couple of times. Nigga, I was in New York visiting family at the time. Cause Thanksgiving was on the way. And I like to call it Turkey Day. Fuck Thanksgiving. But anyway, Turkey Day was on the way. I'm visiting family. I'm at fucking, what's it called? King's Plaza with my mom. And they had a Macy's or a Sears at the time. We in the electronics. I'm watching the game because, the electronics, they like to show the TVs and all the games or whatever that's popular on right now on each of the TVs so you can see how dynamic the TV is. Bro, I'm literally watching the end of the game, and right when the foul occurred where Ben Wallace shoves the shit out of Ron Artest at the time, and then Ron's like, all right, let me go lay down under here, cool down, whatever. And a fan throws a drink at him. That whole situation started. So, if that never happened, bro, if that never fucking happened, Indiana probably would have got their first chip. Probably. Or the Lakers would have been the only team in history to win 4 chips in a row. So either way, history. You feel me? But what actually happened still became history because that was Detroit's 3rd. But to be the only team with literally no superstar to win a championship. If you want to be technical, their star was Chauncey Billups. But he did not play a star role. Everybody had the same amount of value from Mr. Big Shot himself, Chauncey Billups. Rip Hamilton, bro, that was one of my favorite players on that team of that era. Just keep it tall. Tayshaun Prince, he don't really get mentioned enough with that team, but he's the defensive glue for all them niggas. Along with Big Ben, who won 4 of them hoes. Defensive player of the year, that is. As an undrafted, undersized big man. The only motherfucker that could handle Shaq in his prime. Shaq. The most dominant big man this game has seen. Big Ben say otherwise. Shit crazy. Shit crazy. And then I can't forget about the other Wallace, Rasheed. That was really a stretch 4. You talk Dirk, you talk Tim, you talk goddamn KG, you need to talk Sheed as well. He might have been part of the Jailblazers when they were young and ratchet and turned. But nigga, when he went to Detroit, all that shit went out the window. Larry Brown, the head coach, was not playing with none of that shit. You coming on this team, nigga, we here to win. Right? Another what if. I can go on and on for this shit. What if the Pistons actually drafted Carmelo Anthony? These niggas would have had 4 or 5 chips under their belt. Melo would have had a decorated Hall of Fame career. He already has one, but a championship would just be the icing on the cake for his legendary status of a fucking career. He would have won his first shit with Detroit, bro. It is what it is, bro. I'm not going to keep going down the rabbit hole. It is what it is.
They still had hope. But hope doesn't last forever. In 2016, with a 3-1 lead against the Warriors, Oklahoma came within touching distance of redemption. And then it vanished.
That shit pisses me off to this day. Like, you're 1 win away from the NBA Finals. And you mean to tell me you can't fucking close out a team not one time? Nah, that pisses me off entirely, bro. And then the fact that you was up 3-1, You lose the lead. You lost the series. Then you want to be a snake and go behind your buddy back to go to the team that you just lost to in that type of fashion? Yeah, KD is still recovering from that. To this fucking day, he's still recovering from that. What?
When the dust settled, Kevin Durant chose Golden State.
That's bullshit,
it was
bro.
betrayal. In the wake of the heartbreak, Sam Presti went back to work. He traded Ibaka to the Magic for a new pair of hopefuls, Victor Oladipo, and a rookie with a legendary last name, Domantas Sabonis. But the headlines were about the Fury. Russell Westbrook was all that remained. The 2016-17 season became a one-man symphony of vengeance.
Westbrook quickly turning into a three.
MVP year. MVP year. Yeah, Russ.
Didn't just play basketball.
It's a triple-double.
He declared war.
Yeah.
He averaged a triple-double and
Yeah.
won the MVP. And in his shadow, something unexpected was happening. Oladipo had become quicker and more confident.
Westbrook, oh, what a pass, and Oladipo finishes.
Sabonis was blossoming into something special. And before anyone could truly notice, they were gone. In the summer of 2017, Oklahoma City sent both Oladipo and Sabonis to Indiana in exchange for Paul George.
And this is
Two
where the
teams
magic happens.
Bound by the same thread, trading pieces of each other's futures.
Yeah.
And neither would ever be the same. In Indiana, Oladipo exploded. Sabonis, too, found his rhythm. Together, they carried Indiana to 48 wins in the first round, pushing LeBron James and the Cavaliers.
Let's give me the ball.
James, 2 seconds, 1 second to the win.
Just give me the ball. Yeah. Like a
It
lad.
didn't feel like a loss. It felt like an arrival. Meanwhile, in Oklahoma City, Paul George found his own crescendo.
Hey.
By 2019, he wasn't just an all-star. He was third in both MVP and DPOY voting.
Sheesh.
Alongside Westbrook, he made the Thunder terrifying again.
Yeah.
And for the briefest moment, it felt like the road had curved back toward destiny. But fate is impatient, and destiny rarely waits.
That was crazy. Okay. This is where it all comes together, Lord.
In Oklahoma City, it was a gut punch. Fresh off a near MVP season, was suddenly asking out. And Sam Presti answered, but he didn't just fold. He rewrote the rules of value. For Paul George, the Thunder received Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Danilo Gallinari, and a haul of draft picks so large it felt mythological.
Yeah,
it
for
wasn't
real.
a trade, it was a heist.
Yeah.
And Presti, always 3 steps ahead, wasn't done. He flipped Westbrook to Houston. In return, Oklahoma received a mentor, Chris Paul.
Yeah.
At 34, most thought Paul's best days were behind him. But that season in Oklahoma was resurrection.
It really was, bro. It really was. It really fucking was. Motherfuckers was like, nah, OKC is not gonna make it far. This is not a playoff team. They were just writing these niggas off early, bro. Early. Now, as the season went on, and then COVID happened, the whole bubble situation came back to life in Orlando. And guess who was there? OKC. You know what I'm saying? It's wild, bro.
He taught. He led. He carved the game into chapters for Shea to read.
Yes.
A player like Chris that draws so much attention makes it easy for the rest of us.
That's real, though. I feel like if this trade right here, Chris Paul playing one season in Oklahoma, away from his family to be with this kid, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, mentoring him to become the guy he is today, and one win away from his first title and the franchise's first title. Jeez, bro. Like, get his man CP3 his flowers, even though he could play dirty sometimes, which I'm not a fan of. That's still some good caliber basketball, bro. Like, I tip my hat to legendary people who paved the way for the next generation and is willing to be alongside them niggas along the way too. Like, KG did that with Cat. D Wade did that with Tyler Adebayo. Chris Paul with Shea. Like, the list goes on and on, bro. I love that shit.
Quietly, the Thunder began building again.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back in Indiana, the dream was cracking again. Oladipo began to falter.
I remember
not
that.
from lack of will,
I remember
but
that.
from a body that refused to cooperate.
Yeah.
In 2021, the Pacers moved Oladipo to Houston in return for Karis LeVert and draft picks. By 2022, Domantas Sabonis was traded to Sacramento. In return came Tyrese Halliburton,
Yeah.
overlooked, underrated, passed over by a dozen teams that couldn't quite see it yet, but Indiana did. Just as Indiana had Halliburton, Oklahoma had Shea, and now it was time to build around them. The 2022 draft came like clockwork. With the 12th pick from the Clippers trade, Oklahoma took Jalen Williams. By the time the 2023 All-Star Weekend arrived, the league could no longer look away. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and Tyrese Halliburton both became first-time All-Stars.
Yeah.
And the story was just beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on.
The moves didn't stop, because once the foundation is laid, the climb begins. In 2023, Sam Presti struck again. Another Clippers pick, this one at 12th overall, was sent to Dallas in exchange for the 10th pick. With that selection, the Thunder chose Cason Wallace, another piece. In Indiana, the stakes rose too. They swung big, acquiring Pascal Siakam from Toronto. In exchange, they gave up Bruce Brown and picks. One of those picks, a piece they'd once received for Victor Oladipo. Paul George sparked the arrival of Oladipo. Oladipo led to picks, and those picks, they brought in Pascal Siakam, an all-star, a two-way force,
a champion,
a veteran with championship experience. From one trade to another, the ripple became a wave.
I'm going to NBA Finals, man.
It feels good?
Yeah, man, it feels good. It feels really good.
18 years later.
Organization long term, something that can be sustained, something that in time we'll look back on and say, you know what, these were tough decisions, but ultimately they were the right decisions for the organization.
Yes, that's why Sam Presti needs flowers yesterday. One of the greatest GMs this game has ever seen. One of the greatest basketball minds outside of the basketball court that this game has ever fucking seen, bro. For real, for real.
For the first time since 2012, since the days of KD, Russ, and Harden, Oklahoma City is in the NBA Finals.
What are you most proud of about what your team has been able to accomplish so far?
I'd expand it past this year. You know, shout out to Mr. Bennett, who had a vision 17 years ago. He has tied this team to the community.
When he said that and I was watching this game, I'm like, 17 years ago, nigga? What? I'll just talk about Paul George. Paul George wasn't in the league 17 years ago. Oh my God. That's what sparked this whole thought of like, damn, so who could have been this, what could have been the start of this whole situation where these two franchises meet? You feel me? And rightfully so, it was that boy Rashard Lewis back in 2007. That's crazy.
And Sam, who's been here all 17 years.
Bro. That's crazy, bro.
Vision to life, and they've provided an unbelievable experience for everybody that works here, including the players and all of our fans. Just one thing for our fans, rest up this week because we need you Thursday.
Back east, the Pacers moved like ghosts. For the first time since 2000, the Pacers are back in the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
You know what it is? Stephen A., Chalamet, have it your way. Pacers is sick.
Yeah.
Two franchises. One
That's
from the
hilarious.
flatlands of Oklahoma and another from the heartland of Indiana, built brick by brick from the same ancestral trade, face each other in the 2025 NBA Finals. This entire saga traces back to one transaction so obscure it barely made any headlines. From the ashes of a forgotten deal rose a destiny that could no longer be denied.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy, chat. I ain't gonna hold you. That's it, crazy, chat. No cap, bro. No cap. Man. That shit is wild, bro. No lie. Damn. Rashard Lewis, shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you. You the reason why we got these two superstars going to Game 7 tomorrow, bro. He need to be in the building. For real. They need a whole segment to interview Rashard Lewis on ESPN, bro, for Game 7. Fuck the Paul George interview. He could talk about that shit on his podcast. Or Podcast P, if you watching this. Appreciate the love, first of all. But you need to invite Rashard Lewis to your platform so y'all could talk about this shit. I feel like that'd be a great conversation. It would. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it would be great. Oh, man. What time is it, chat? It's 1:40 my time. And I got shit to do too, though, bro. Other than the concert that I'm getting ready for with The Weeknd and Playboy Cardi, Mike Dean, you know what I'm saying? These are three legendary figures in today's era of music, bro. You feel me? Especially Mike Dean. That's a legend for decades, bro. He been around since the goddamn Beatles, I think. For real. But if not that long, the nigga been outside for long enough, bro. No cap. But anyways, bro, that's really all the shit I wanted to react to real quick. Matter of fact, nah. Hold on. We got one more video. But real quick, I'ma just go on a quick little commercial break because I got to take care of some shit right fast. You know what I'm saying? So, oh, man. That shit crazy. I cannot believe that shit. But anyways, real quick, I'm going to leave y'all with some tunes while I go take care of some shit right quick. Bear with me. Holla. I'll be right back, y'all.
Okay. suicide. Ain't nothing popping off for you and I. Sometimes I gotta ask myself, what's love? You be having me stuck like why? Everyone got some bad kids, they pack it pretty tight. And there be times where I can't sleep at night. That made me wanna question, what's love? Okay, I cut you off once, twice, and still you return. Just for you to tell me you had heartburn. Like when I broke your heart, girl, please. Like where do I start? You see, shawty, you wanna know where I begin? Well, let's start with a crazy Nigerian. Hopefully you have fun with the Nigerian. Got the words on my mouth, you ain't even listening. I swear, all my life I was a mashed potatoes. It make me hate hoes, but that's okay though. Then you looking stupid like what have I done? Girl, you just another lesson learned from Love 101. I can tell you what the highlight feel, cause I be making more plays than a highlight reel. Yeah, and since you don't like me, there's other girls I can be inviting. If you know a better love, help a nigga understand. Swear these girls out here be playing, switching up and ruin plans. One day they call you the man, the next day they be like, who man? Got amnesia from them sands, cause you know that's not part of the plan. Give me that sweet infection that gives me erections from your kitty, and start flexing up for big investments from this city. You know love, help a nigga understand. When we first met, I was so in love. Could've swore you were just a drug. Had a connection like a plug. No doubt you was my little thug. All on the phone through the late night. Had to let you win when we play fight. Used to put it down just how you like. Those were the days we were too tight. Guess you had somebody waiting on the side. They just a dream, not a full ride. Got you caught up in your little pride. Cut you out quick, now your mouth wide. I had a little faith we could work out. Messing with you ain't no safe route. Ain't no girl I can take to the crib for dinner if you leave with your cake out. For real? That long that I gave you, I'ma need that time too. Cause I'm the only one that came through. I need them franks with the strip glue. Nowadays I'm cutthroat. Ain't no gain to grind on the cut road. You the squeeze on your knees, next thing to a sleep, looking for your next backstroke. You know a better love, help a nigga understand. Swear these girls out here be playing, switching up and ruin plans. One day they call you the man, the next day they be like, who man? Got amnesia from them sands, cause you know that's not part of the plan. Give me that sweet infection that gives me erections from your kitty, and start flexing up for big investments from this city. You know love, help a nigga understand. Hey, alright, it's your boy Danny Ford, right? I got my boys always with me, Strictly Profit with me, DKB with me, 3PMG with me. Hey, what up, man? We all here. I'm gonna need all you little chihuahuas and Yorkies to step the fuck back, you feel me? Big dog alert. Yeah. I'm a big dog. Call me big dog. These bitches love me sitting pretty when I'm sitting tall. I'm a big dog. Call me big dog. Yeah, nigga, call me big dog. I don't fall in love, nigga. I just fall in lust. Why? It's too many big booty bitches in the cut. Hey, I don't fall in love, nigga. I just fall in lust. Why? It's too many big booty bitches trying to fuck. I'm a Great Dane, like Scooby. Ain't nothing prettier than a pretty bitch with no saggy boobies. Ain't looking for the fame, but when I die, make a movie. They looking for that chain, but be cautious with the toolie. If you a scam artist, fuck out here, nigga. That's how I feel every day of the year. Yeah, niggas always hate. That's why I tuck my juice up like I'm Chris Brown. Bitch, I sip brown. Cause they clear liquor, fuck up my intestines. Tryna win this money like I'm a contestant. Yeah, on the game show. Hold up, wait. How you say your name, oh? You made your own excuses that I'm still to blame for. Yeah, I believe something ain't adding up, but I brushed it to the side. Let's go play some Madden, bro.
Let's do it.
Adding up the paper, I've been grinding for since I was 6, y'all. It's only right they call me Big Dog.
Oh.
I'm a big dog.
Oh.
Call me Big Dog.
Yeah, bitches.
Call me sitting pretty when I'm sitting tall. I'm a big dog. Call me Big Dog. Yeah, nigga, call me Big Dog. I don't fall in love, nigga. I just fall in lust. Why? It's
I don't find it. Hey. Shit. Yay, 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 yay. Woo! I ain't heard this song in a long time, man. Yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 hey. But that shit used to be my jam, bro, back when I was young, 404. You know what I'm saying? I ain't young like that no more. Alright. Woo. Alright, man. I really could go on for real, for real. It's another 2 videos that I really want to check out with y'all, bro. It's another 2 videos that I really want to check out with y'all niggas, bro. I really want to check these 2 out real quick before I have to get off for real. So, I'm going to load it up. Fuck it. Let's load it up. First one we going to talk about, man. Talk about this damn Shaq attack. Since we're talking about Indy in the finals back in 2000. And they here 25 years later. Let's go back in time 25 years ago. For real, for real. That boy Shaq attack, man. That boy was the most dominant. You feel me? He was dominant as hell. So, we're going to see what this shit all about, bro. And, yeah, we're going to see how, with the rewind, how dominant he really was back in 2000. Shout out to the score for the video. Let's react.
When the 2000 NBA Finals got underway, the smart money was on the Los Angeles Lakers, an ascendant powerhouse anchored by 2 generational superstars. Few believed that the Indiana Pacers, despite putting together a marvelous season and earning their first ever NBA Finals berth, had a real shot against this burgeoning juggernaut. And guess what? That lack of faith in Indiana was well placed, because the Pacers simply had no answer for Shaquille O'Neal, the incomparable big man who bolstered his Hall of Fame resume in that series with one of the most overpowering performances in NBA Finals history.
Facts. Shaq attack, 2000.
As the 20th century dawned, the Lakers and Pacers actually had a lot in common. Both franchises were playoff fixtures in their respective conferences following resurgences in the mid-1990s, yet both franchises were looking to snap extended championship droughts. The Lakers hadn't won it all since Magic and Kareem won their 5th one together in 1988, and the Pacers hadn't won an NBA championship since, well, ever.
Yeah,
the last Pacers title came in 1973 when they were still a member of the American Basketball Association. In their first 23 seasons in the NBA, the closest Indiana got to a championship was the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, to their credit, they got there a lot in the 1990s, reaching the conference finals in 94, 95, 98, and 99 with a homegrown core of Reggie Miller, Dale Davis, and Rick Smits, plus eventually all-star point guard Mark Jackson and Jalen Rose. By the 1999-2000 season, however, the Pacers were running out of time. Miller, the heart and soul of the franchise, was 34. So was Jackson. Smits was 33. In fact, only one of the team's starters that season was under 30 years old. It was now or never, especially with Michael Jordan's Bulls finally out of the picture for good. Meanwhile, however, the Lakers were also primed for a momentous year after a breakthrough of sorts the season prior. See, 98-99 marked Kobe Bryant's first season as a starter, and with the young phenom starting to make good on his enormous potential, the Lakers had the perfect complement to their superstar center, the most dominant force in basketball, Shaquille O'Neal. It's frankly hard to overstate just how unstoppable O'Neal was at that point in time. Over his first 7 seasons in the NBA, split between Orlando and Los Angeles, Shaq averaged more than 27 points and 12 rebounds per game while leading the league in field goal percentage. During that time, he was named Rookie of the Year, he was an All-Star 6 times, and he was a scoring champion. He was a freak. Seemingly, the only way to contain him was to hack a Shaq, to foul him and hope he missed his free throws. Actually, from his rookie season through 1999, O'Neal attempted more free throws than anyone in the NBA other than Karl Malone. And ultimately, with Shaq at the height of his powers and Kobe coming into his own, the Lakers seemed destined to get over the hump in 99-2000 after getting only as far as the Western Conference Finals once over the previous 8 seasons.
Yeah.
Coming into that season, in fact, only the Portland Trail Blazers had shorter championship odds than the Lakers. But it quickly became clear that the Lakers were the best team in the league, by far. Under new head coach Phil Jackson, the Lakers became an elite team on both ends of the floor. And with his triangle offense, with Kobe creating space for Shaq, the big man turned in his most impressive season yet. That year, Shaq led the NBA with a career-high 29.7 points per game. Meanwhile, he also averaged more than 13 rebounds per game and also established another career high with 3.8 assists per game. For his efforts, he was named League MVP, missing out on a unanimous selection by 1 vote. And to this day, he remains one of just 2 players to average more than 29 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 blocks per game. The other is Kareem. Undeniably, though, his MVP campaign was made possible by Kobe, who averaged almost 23 points per game and one of the most impressive seasons ever from a player aged 21 or younger. And with those two balling out, the Lakers won 67 games, setting a post-merger franchise record and coming within 5 wins of the single-season NBA record set 4 years earlier by MJ and the Bulls. But just as things came together in Los Angeles, they also did in Indiana. Propelled by a deep rotation, all-star seasons from Miller and Davis, and a huge step forward from Rose, who was named the league's most improved player, the Pacers finished atop the Eastern Conference in 99-2000 at 56-26. They may not have been as sexy as the Lakers, nor were they as dominant, but Indiana actually posted the highest offensive rating in the league with the highest three-point percentage too. And as the playoffs dawned, there wasn't a juicier potential finals matchup than Pacers-Lakers. The former, a veteran group looking for their first NBA title after so many near misses, and the latter, a star-studded squad looking to re-establish themselves as basketball's new powerhouse. Pacers-Lakers was the dream, but it almost didn't happen. The Pacers nearly got bounced by the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round, blowing a 2-1 series lead in the best of 5 before squeaking by with a 1-point victory in the decisive Game 5. And the Lakers almost pooched it in the first round themselves, blowing a 2-0 series lead against Sacramento before finally figuring it out in Game 5. Then, in the Western Conference Finals, the Lakers almost blew it again, squandering a 3-1 series lead against Portland to force a decisive Game 7. Amazingly though, with their season on the line, the Lakers managed to erase a 15-point second-half deficit to escape with an epic Game 7 victory, punching their ticket to the finals for the first time since 1991. The Pacers' path to the finals after that first-round scare wasn't so dramatic. They cruised past Philly in the second round, then bested their longtime rivals, the New York Knicks, in 6 games in the Eastern Conference Finals to secure the first NBA Finals berth in franchise history. It was happening. The matchup everyone was hoping for had come to fruition. In reality, though, the 2 conference champions were not worthy adversaries. Actually, the betting odds for Pacers-Lakers are the 5th most lopsided betting odds in NBA Finals history. Because while the Pacers had plenty of talent, toughness, and heart, enough juice to win a championship most years, they didn't have Shaq. And the Lakers did. In Game 1 in LA, in the first NBA Finals game in the newly opened Staples Center, O'Neal christened the joint with one of the most incredible individual performances in NBA Finals history. Shaq, just as he had been all season, was the focal point of the Lakers offense. And he had an absolute field day, going an absurd 21 for 31 from the field while going to the free throw line 6 times.
Damn.
Simply put, the Pacers had no solution for O'Neal, who finished with 43 points and 19 rebounds in a commanding Lakers victory. It was a harbinger of things to come. In Game 2, despite losing Kobe to an ankle injury in the first quarter, Shaq and the Lakers were unfazed. They just leaned on their big man even more, feeding him the rock on seemingly every possession. Now, the Pacers tried to counter that by resorting to their hack-a-Shaq strategy, but it didn't really work. Over the course of the night, Shaq went 11 for 18 from the field while setting an NBA Finals record with 39 free throw attempts.
Damn.
He hit 18 of them, ultimately finishing with 40 points and 24 rebounds in a second straight Lakers win. Yet it was abundantly clear that Indiana was in trouble. Nobody on their roster could stop Shaq. Not Rick Smits, not anybody. Even with Kobe sidelined, they couldn't contain him. And although the Pacers managed to win Game 3 with Kobe out of commission, Shaq still dropped 33 points in the Lakers' loss.
Oh my
and when
God.
Kobe returned to the lineup for Game 4, he and Shaq immediately got the Lakers back to their winning ways. That critical swing game was the series' most competitive yet, with Miller and Smits impressively matching the efforts of Shaq and Kobe. After 48 minutes of basketball, the game was tied. Indiana just needed to outplay LA for 5 minutes and the series would be tied. Unfortunately for them, however, that didn't happen. Instead, Bryant turned in 5 of the best minutes of his young career, dropping 8 points and adding a block in the overtime period to propel the Lakers to a 2-point victory. I should point out, though, that O'Neal still finished with a game-high 36 points while corralling 21 rebounds.
I remember that.
Now, to their credit, the Pacers didn't roll over after falling into a 3-1 hole. They actually turned in their best game of the series in Game 5, with Miller and Rose leading the charge in a 120-87 shellacking. However, with the series back in LA for Game 6, the Lakers reasserted their dominance once and for all. Although Indiana battled hard to keep their season alive and even clung to a 5-point lead after 3 quarters, Shaq ultimately snuffed out whatever hope they had left in the fourth. After dropping 28 points through 3 quarters, O'Neal went even more nuts in crunch time, going perfect from the field in the fourth to help LA erase their deficit.
Shaw's got it. It's a 2-on-1 break. Kobe Bryant flips it to Shaq, who is back, and the shot goes down. So is Shaq, and he's clutching his left knee.
Yeah, I know that knee had to hurt. He like, 1 second, y'all, 1 second.
Just give me a second.
1 second.
Yeah, he was fine, and he would go on to hit several more huge shots from there.
8 seconds to shoot. Harper to Shaq, guarded by Davis, turnaround jumper. How about that? He's got 40.
That bucket,
Bro.
which gave Shaq 40 for the night, put the Lakers up 4 with just over 4 minutes to go.
Bro, to score 40 without shooting a 3 would be a huge accomplishment in today's basketball. Because now everybody got to shoot a fucking 3. It's just the pace and space of today's game. But back then, wasn't no such thing as pace and space or small ball lineups and shit. Big men lived in the paint, bro. Nowhere else but the fucking paint. So, Shaq doing this during his heyday was just another day in the office, for real. But I challenge Joker, Embiid, hell, Wemby. I challenge them niggas to score 40 points without attempting a 3. We'll see how good they are, for real. Back to the basket. I feel like Joker would probably be the only one to do it and still get a triple-double. Embiid gonna want to shoot some middies. Same with Wemby. I feel like Joker is probably the more physical out of those 3. He would probably be the one to achieve this first. Hell, I throw Giannis in there since Shaq says that Giannis reminds him of himself. So that's cool. Giannis, he can't even shoot like that for real, so he could be in contention. I'll give him second place for that.
And they wouldn't trail again. The Pacers managed to cut their deficit down to 1 with just over a minute remaining, but the Lakers staved off Indiana's last-ditch efforts before a series of late free throws from Kobe put the game on ice. For the first time since
that boy like, hey, everybody chill. Watch me work, but please chill.
Showtime days, the Lakers were NBA champions. And just like that, a new era had dawned for the franchise and for the NBA, the Shaq and Kobe era. There was no debate, however, as to which one of them was the key to the Lakers championship. And another gut-wrenching defeat for the Pacers, who would go another 25 years before their next finals appearance. For the series, O'Neal averaged a whopping 38 points, 16.7 rebounds, 2.7 blocks, and 2.3 assists per game while shooting over 61% from the field and going to the line 93 times. He played more minutes than any player on either team, and he didn't log a single game with less than 30 points or less than 11 rebounds. To this day, it remains one of the most dominant showings in NBA Finals history, and it made Shaq the obvious choice for Finals MVP. And although Shaq was named Finals MVP in each of the next 2 seasons as well, while the dynastic Lakers completed their three-peat, his performance in the 2000 Finals is unquestionably his finest work. And no conversation about his outsized legacy is complete without mentioning how he overpowered Indiana en route to his first NBA title. Thanks for watching. If you like this video and want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. Damn, chat. Alright. It's 2 o'clock now, 2:02. I got time for one more, and then I really got to get off, bro. No cap. gotta make sure I finish all my errands before I have fun tonight. Okay. So yeah, I remember my first live stream a couple of days ago. I was talking about the NBA media and how it became so toxic, right? One of the fucking faces that was on that damn platform or that video was Skip Bayless. So today, the last video that I'm going to react to before I have to hop off the stream will be times where Skip Bayless got checked. Shout out to my boy La Hoopster, aka Luaster, who does a lot of hip-hop content videos, mostly on his main channel. This is his second channel where he reacts to basketball news and basketball videos. So this is that, and we're going to react to that. Alright? So for one last time on the stream, I'm going to quit yapping. Let's get to reacting, shall we?
Some sports personalities have built their entire careers off controversy, using the backlash as fuel to stay relevant and dominate headlines on the internet. Plenty of people have thrived off this exact formula, raising their voices, doubling down on their opinions, and banking on the idea that confidence beats accuracy, all just to stir the pot, dominate the conversation, and cash in as major media personalities. And ever since he segued from being a humble sports writer to the spotlight of television, Skip Bayless has relished playing the villain role.
The MVP of the Cavs is this guy. It's Kyrie Irving. I would hate to see what would happen to LeBron without Kyrie right now. The reason I can't put Steph Curry in there quite yet, he's just too little. Took LeBron 13 NBA seasons to have his defining moment. It took a finals that looked like LeBron was going to lose to fall to 2-5 in NBA finals. And by the way, he wouldn't have even been 2-5 if not for the great Ray Allen, who saved his legacy with the greatest clutch shot I ever saw.
See, this the shit I'm talking about, bro. This the shit I be talking about. Like, we not finna sit here and start this video like this. Skip. Like, come on, man. Like, this is some blasphemous shit that a lot of people are gonna look at and be like, oh, he's talking shit about LeBron, which he always does. But saying that Ray Allen saved LeBron's career because of one shot, it's a bunch of bullshit. That's exactly what that is.
It was a finals-saving clutch shot. Am I right about that?
Opinionated,
yes,
argumentative.
It was a finals-saving shot, but it's still bullshit that you had to call out another nigga saving a legendary figure's career. Like, how much of a hater are you, my boy, for you to be like this? Goodness.
And always ready to tear down an athlete as if they wronged him personally, Skip Bayless built a name for himself through constant controversy. Even if many believed that he didn't truly stand by most of what he said, it never stopped him from saying it louder than anyone else. But while he threw out a lot of wild claims and accusations for years, that doesn't mean it was always without consequences. Long before his career got derailed by serious misconduct allegations, there were plenty of people who had already stepped up to him on live television and called out Skip right to his face. It's your boy Luaster, and these are people who checked Skip Bayless. And where better to start than the man who came at his neck for a living for years? In this instance, I'm of course talking about Shannon Sharpe, his longtime partner on Fox Sports' hit show Undisputed. Over the years, the show provided no shortage of chaotic viral moments, with both men often yelling at one another during heated debates.
Tom Brady doesn't care about stats. Tom Brady don't care about this. Bull jive!
Bull jive to you!
Bull jive!
He cares about winning
Tom
Super
Brady.
Bowls.
Quarterbacks are the most arrogant people that play professional sports.
This nigga said bull jive. That's a southerner for you. My boy come from Savannah, Georgia. So that's a real southerner for you. Bull jive. But he can't say bullshit on live TV either, so I get it.
You know that and I know it.
Last year with Tyreek Hill.
Right now.
Hey, stop it! It is my turn.
You going back to last year.
Time out. It is my turn. I gave you all of your phony baloney that you spewed all over the table. It is my turn. It is my turn. All right.
He's 187.
Tell me when it's my turn.
It's not your turn.
Okay.
He's Phil Football calibrated.
Blah, blah, blah.
37%.
Blah, blah, blah.
Okay, go ahead.
Blah, blah, blah. You done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Thank you.
And even though it eventually looked like the two genuinely hated each other, it didn't start off that way. In fact, it was their early chemistry that helped Shannon land a gig in the first place.
I needed a new partner, and fatefully and fortunately, near the end of my run with Stephen A., there was a week in which Stephen A. had to go do something somewhere, and we tried Shannon Sharp, I think for 3 days, and I really liked him in a very different way than I loved Stephen A. But I liked our clique, and it was a whole different dynamic because he's out of your mold. Obviously, he's in the Hall of Fame. So now we had ex-player. We didn't have journalist. We had ex-player journalist.
From there, Skip realized the two are extremely similar with each other.
We both are fitness obsessed, so we had that in common. And he right away respected me because I'm like a workout addict. I just like it. I'm sorry. I apologize for it. I'm crazed, but I just do it because I like it. And so does he. And he used to say to me, we're way more alike than people think. And I believe that's true.
But it wasn't always plain sailing, as while the combination of a former NFL star and a journalist provided interesting differences in perspective, it used to really frustrate Shannon when Skip would try to debate him about football details, especially when Shannon had literally lived and breathed the game for decades.
Got 2 hands on the ball. Shannon Sharp gets 2 hands on the ball. He catches it. That was exactly where he aimed it.
No, Skip.
He threw it to him to turn upfield. I tweeted it immediately. He has to turn and run. And he was looking to run with it and flat out took his eyes off. Nope.
It's cover 2. He would get
He's
decapitated.
sorry, you blew it again. Thank you for showing that video. Next one. What's the next video? I don't know. Did you say you had 2 third and 2s? Show me another one.
Why would you
Show me. I love it.
Go ahead, Tom.
This shit's stressing me out. God. Oh, they yelling. Y'all are right in front of one another, bro. Like, I get it, y'all debating, but y'all ain't got to scream at one another, first of all. Second of all, like, how you gonna tell somebody that lives, breathes, eats, shits this game what the fuck is what when it comes to the game? Like, this is a Hall of Famer of said game, and you want to tell him that he don't know what he doing, what he talking about? That's real blasphemous coming from a workout freak, bitch ass nigga.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. What's your other
I'm done. I'm done.
Seriously?
Because you're trying to argue coverage with me.
No, I know coverage. I know what that throw was. He led him upfield, and Randall Cobb took his eyes off the ball because he was looking.
Yo, I bet if I'm sure when them cameras are off and they have these heated, intense moments like this, bro, I bet you Shannon Sharp be ready to wring this nigga neck so goddamn tight, bro. Oh my goodness, just squeeze the shit out of this white motherfucker until he turns red. I feel like he want to do that shit all the time. What the fuck, dog?
Looking to run 5 more yards with it.
And at times, he called out Skip on his disrespectful ways. One such instance was when he was sick of being interrupted by him during a discussion around Damar Hamlin's collapse.
Skip tweeted something, and although I disagreed with the tweet, and hopefully Skip would take it down, but I didn't want it.
Well, time out. I'm not going to take it down because I stand by what I tweeted.
Skip, let me.
All right, okay.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Go ahead, let's go, Jen.
Okay.
I mean, I cannot even get through a monologue without you interrupting me.
But if anything, this was
For real,
wrong,
though.
because there were other instances where Shannon seemed to be on the cusp of leaping over the table.
You
A
feel
notable
me?
example came
You
when
feel
Skip
me?
discredited his
feel
accomplishments
me?
during a discussion about Tom Brady, downplaying Shannon's own dominance on the field to boost Brady's instead.
Yeah, I did what I did. You make it seem like I was a bum. I'm in the effing Hall of Fame.
Okay,
I got
so
3
what?
Super Bowls.
So what?
So what?
He's way better than you were.
I'm better than you.
better.
I got See what you do? You take personal shots.
No, I don't take personal shots. You started it.
Time out. You're willing to take a personal shot at me to say this man is better than me because I say he's playing bad this year?
Well, because you just
Go ahead.
you disrespect him. It's just so.
You
know what? It's beneath your
You
dignity.
disrespect me to support him.
No, well, I'll support him over anybody because he's the greatest player who ever played your game, and it's by far.
And to say that this went down poorly with viewers would be an understatement, with some claiming this was very low, even for Skip.
Yeah.
He tried to humiliate and belittle his co-worker on live television over Tom Brady.
Yeah.
That's weak and pathetic.
Yeah.
He shit on everything he worked towards for 30 years.
Yeah,
And while the show
exactly.
continued for years after this occurred, Shannon later revealed that it drove a meaningful wedge between them.
Man, bro, it's gonna drive a meaningful wedge for me to beat your bitch ass. I tell you that fucking much. The fuck? Hell no, bro. I'm glad Shannon left that motherfucker. Now what Shannon got going on right now, other than Club Shay Shay, and the amount of allegations with his name right now, it's none of my business. I could give 3 shits. But when it comes to him and Skip Bayless having a multiple arguments per day, I'm glad that shit's done. Cause honestly, damn that nigga Skip Bayless, bro. I do not like him. I despise this dude. This man, he even though some of his shit be true, most of the time this nigga dumb as fuck, bro. And I'm not a fan of that shit. And honestly, if you're not smart enough to talk about said subject, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Like, I get it. Y'all niggas want to be toxic for the clicks and to be more popular on socials, but it's a difference between being popular for the right reasons and being popular because a community hates you, despises you. You feel me? Like, fuck, man.
A lot of that is my fault because there were times that led up to that I felt that shots were taken and I let it go. And he felt that he could go over the top in that situation. Whatever the relationship is, once one partner has no respect for the other partner then in turn loses respect for said partner.
Yeah.
Then I think it's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
Because I felt in that moment he had lost all respect for me. He had no respect for me. This is undisputed. Skip and Shannon. This is not yours. So it really, really hurt me. Had I attacked him personally, live on television, what would have happened?
He even considered initiating a physical altercation with Skip, one which we all know he would have won with ease.
I wasn't willing to throw that the 2 months that Skip and we disagreed a lot. Sometimes I think things went over the line. I didn't want that, and so I appreciate everything Skip had done for me, bringing me there, giving me an opportunity to show that I was just more than a football player. I wasn't willing to throw that away. Skip and I just needed to get into a room and talk. Skip and I, we don't have the type of relationship that Skip and Stephen A. had, because Skip and Stephen A. came from the same world. They had been both journalists. They see what they see through the journalist's eyes.
Yeah.
I'm an athlete. I see things through an athlete's eyes.
Yeah.
Over time, they both became aware that things went too far, leading them to try to put their heads together to bring things back under control.
That's why we work on the show. He sees things one way, I see things another way. But I think the thing is that I've conveyed to Skip is that we can disagree, but I want to color between the lines. I don't want the disagreement to go outside of the lines.
And by the time that Shannon received a buyout from Fox to leave the show in June of 2023, Shannon ultimately appreciated the opportunities presented by working alongside him.
Skip Bayless, you fought for me, bro.
Did I?
I'm here because of you. You've allowed me to share the stage with you. You allowed me to share the platform. The opportunity that you gave me to become what I became, I'm forever indebted to you. I'll never forget what you did for me. You've helped me grow more than you ever know.
Okay, this is not easy for me either.
Despite rampant speculation online that there was something more Skip could have done to
It's
save
Skip's
the show,
fault.
he announced
Absolutely.
that he regrets how it panned out.
Absolutely, that bitch ass nigga fault.
Close together.
I just have one huge regret. We weren't nearly as close as Stephen A. and I were close, but I just wanted us to finish together on time. When he was at Fox, I wanted us to finish together. As God is my witness, I'm not exactly sure what happened upstairs, but it fell all apart and he got pushed out.
You don't know what happened. You happened. Skip Bayless. You the reason there's no Undisputed. You the reason Shannon Sharp left to go to your nemesis, ESPN, even though he's not there no more. But it's your fault, Skip. You didn't think about that, huh? Goofy motherfucker.
And although he doesn't necessarily regret it, you can tell that the situation still weighs heavy on his mind.
And I don't like it to this day, and I'm not a regrets type. I don't look back and say, oh, if only. But that was one where it was just wrong. That's not how I envisioned, because our contracts were concurrent. So I knew when mine was up, I wanted to go my separate way, but I wanted us to end the way it should have ended, because, man, we had 7 really good years. We had, on just pure ratings, we had about 5 through the roof years.
And while Skip probably envisioned he and Shannon's professional relationship concluding in another way, it won't be the only thing that he probably wished had gone down differently in his career. Among these moments he likely reflects on would probably be inviting Mark Cuban onto the show, an appearance which led him to get severely outsmarted by his adversary. Taken from his days alongside Stephen A. Smith on ESPN, the wealthy entrepreneur and basketball superfan appeared to discuss some of Skip's opinions that he took issues with, basically critiquing his entire profession.
It's not just Skip, it's sports writers, sports media in general, where everything's generalities, right? Excruciating pressure. What the hell is that, right? You know,
it was excruciating pressure. That's what it was.
That meaning what, Skip?
Meaning that you personally watched up close and personal what LeBron went through last year against your Dallas Mavericks. Was it not the biggest collapse of a superstar that we've ever witnessed on a finals or championship stage?
No, I mean, first of all, it's a team game, right? You guys like to talk in complete generalities where no one can question you. You don't ever use facts. You don't ever use substance. You don't ever use
facts.
No.
And from there, he ripped him to shreds on the grounds of his self-importance.
Let's go.
You have the presumption that people care what you say. They don't. That when guys go out there, when guys go out there, I'm talking about media in general. When guys get ready to play and they're in the locker room, they're not thinking, okay, well, what's written, what's going to be written, what's being said, right? I mean, they're getting prepared. And if you've got a good coach and you've got a good culture, then guys are ready to play no matter what. Like you guys were just talking about, Miami wanted it more or less. Like that is just such horse, you know what?
On Skip's part, he kept making it easy for Mark to tear him down. As Bayless claimed that he was LeBron's Howard Cosell, a legendary sports broadcaster known for his insight and sharp commentary, Cuban saw it as completely delusional, calling out Skip's shallow takes and lack of misunderstanding when it came to actual basketball tactics.
This is a Skip Bayless special. LeBron lost last year because he wasn't paying attention to Skip Bayless. LeBron won this year because he wasn't. That's what you just said.
Okay.
Did he not just say that?
Okay, here's what he didn't do.
When he was in the post, what were the different defensive schemes that Oklahoma City ran last night?
They used Cephalosha on him. They used Durant on him.
When he was in the post, what were the different defensive schemes that they used?
Ibaka was supposed to come hard.
He was supposed to come hard,
and
right?
he did not come hard. He let LeBron get to the rim repeatedly, and Perkins was nowhere to be seen.
I just asked a simple question.
Yeah, I just told you.
No, you said so-and-so was supposed to. No, they doubled from down, right? And they doubled and they passed and they hit their open shots, right? When they kept on doubling, they changed, right? Because they passed it, passed it out. Mike Miller hit open shot. But that's just one example.
Did he get in the lane against you guys last year? Not at all in the fourth quarter.
Why do you play a zone, Skip?
Well, again, I've seen him slash up any kind of defense when he feels like it.
Skip,
He's a freight train. You just said you don't have the athletes that they have.
After witnessing his thorough destruction of Skip on national TV, audiences were thrilled, claiming that it underlined everything they already felt about the commentator and his lack of real insight. This has got to be the greatest collapse of a sports writer in ESPN history.
Yes! Yes! That day, like, I was already aware of who Mark Cuban was, and I already enjoyed watching him be a super fan and the majority owner of Dallas Mavericks back when Dirk, Steve Nash were on the team. I knew it from then. Michael Finley, all them guys, Nick Van Exel, Dan Pierre. I can go on and on. Josh Howard. Anyways, when he came on First Take and said this shit to Bayless, Skip Bayless' face, nigga, I'm over here like, yes! Yes! Somebody that can stand up to this piece of shit and talk that shit. Somebody that can call this motherfucker out on his bullshit. I was here for it 100%. Nigga was melting down on live TV, bro. Trying to sound like he got it together. That's so funny, bro.
It's 10 years later and I'm still trying to figure out how Skip has a job.
Funny,
but
bro.
if anyone really decimated Skip's reputation and even made him evaluate his own worth, It was Jalen Rose,
Yeah,
a regular fixture in the media as a
yeah.
commentator. The former NBA great is never one to hide his feelings. And when he believed that Skip overstepped his boundaries, he didn't miss his chance to level some serious shade in his direction. During a segment where Skip was disputing Russell Westbrook's role as a point guard, Jalen proceeded to rip Bayless to shreds, critiquing his lack of credentials on the court.
The positions were only created so a novice could follow the game. Just because you're a power forward, that doesn't make you physical. Just because you're a shooting guard, that don't mean you can jack up threes.
Right.
What were you, Jalen? What were you? What were you? Did you average 1.4 points as a senior in high school?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so all of that Pistol P stuff, Water Pistol Pete Jr.
Okay, we'll address that later. We're going to.
You don't ignore that. Did you play junior?
Yeah.
You play JV as a junior?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I followed.
What were you? What was your position?
I had no position. You were a point guard. I had no game.
And if there was an occasion where it looked like Skip might burst into tears on air, that was it. As for Jalen, the whole incident seemed like a matter of him biding his time to unleash the ultimate clapback. The incident caused such a stir that Jalen returned the next day, and while he apologized to an extent, he certainly never backed down.
Jalen's back. No one's told you what to say. We have no idea where you're going with this. But what we want to do is, after you look at that, what's your reaction? Do you still stand by the way you approach that?
We're a debate show.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, we're not a reality show. And it's up to us to say what's in our head, say what's in our heart as it relates to topics.
Yes.
What normally happens when you debate, whether you're at a barbershop or whether you're on ESPN First Take, sometimes the debate can get personal based on the person's tone.
He went on to explain exactly why he was so passionate about debating basketball.
So if I hear somebody saying something negative about me to attack my credibility as a person and as a player, something that I invested 20 years in playing middle school, high school, college, pro. I'm invested in this. Like, my father was the #1 pick, God rest his soul, in the 1967 draft. Like, I dedicated my life to basketball. So if I feel like somebody wants to cross the line and challenge how I feel about the game, I study this, I do this, I took it personal. And that's what happened yesterday in our debate.
Years on, Jalen has discussed the incident at length, revealing that it was an opportunity to give him a taste of his own medicine.
I was defending the idea that it's okay to name call as your analysis of describing players. Because there was a period of time where he was coming up with nicknames, and when you're giving your description of what you feel like they are as a player or what you felt like their behavior was, my point was there's a way to do that without calling the person by a nickname that's clearly not positive.
Was it part of the argument about you being an ex-player and him never playing the game?
That's where it ended up going, because initially it was about Russell Westbrook. It was about the fact that Russell Westbrook wasn't a traditional point guard. So what kind of guard were you? So now, somebody that grew up in the hip-hop era, if I'm going to go on a debate show, I kind of gotta have a couple of counterpoints to make if somebody throws shade.
Because of his hypocritical nature, Skip often can't see his own deficiencies when they're right in front of his face. And among those who proved that during a hostile confrontation with Bayless was FS1 reporter Jenny Taft. During her time on Undisputed, there always seemed to be a bit of tension between Jenny and Skip, especially after he repeatedly hinted at some kind of relationship between her and Shannon, crossing lines that made things awkward both on and off camera.
I remember
No,
this.
I mean, no, definitely.
You
on
bought
Jen's side.
Jenny.
Thank you.
Jenny and I go back like coffee.
Yeah. I got that.
Way back.
You
on
bought
Jen's side.
Jenny.
No.
Jenny and I go back like coffee.
On with your girl today. When you come back, she may not be your girl anymore.
I don't see you using any swear words.
I don't know about that.
I just don't.
No. I do my best not to.
I think you have a lot to learn about your man Shannon.
But no one took this seriously. Instead, seeing it as an indicator of Skip's own feelings of inadequacy. Skip is one of those dudes who are awkward around women. Seen him 1,000 times hating on dudes who are naturally comfortable around ladies.
Right.
At the time, Jenny seemed to take it all in stride, but that didn't mean she wouldn't fire back whenever she got the chance. The most memorable moment came during a heated argument over former Dallas head coach Mike McCarthy's weight, where Jenny shut Skip down by saying,
His motivational speech was the most inspiring, but criticizing his appearance, I don't know if I think that is a fair shot for Mike McCarthy. I'm going to leave it at that. Chris Broussard.
Thanks, Jenny. I appreciate that.
I don't think it is a fair shot.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's a fair shot.
Is
either.
everyone
That's
who's
my
a
opinion.
good coach as fit as you, Skip, I don't think that's a fair shot whatsoever.
I wouldn't want. I said it was a personal preference, and I wouldn't want him to be my head coach.
That have not had the perfect ideal physique, including my college coach. So I don't think that's a fair shot.
Okay.
And I'm allowed to have an opinion, Skip. I am allowed to say whatever I want to say on this show, as you do too.
Yo, Skip is really a bitch, bro. Like, folks is telling you what it is, and you over here like, yep, on to the next subject, please. Next. Bro, you really bitch made, bro. I'm sure your parents are not here living anymore. Rest in peace if they are. But they had to have raised the most obnoxious kid ever. The most dumb, stupid, comment-saying kid ever. I stand on that. Because the shit that this man says is just dumb most of the time. It is, bro. I can't stand this nigga, bro.
Will join us and react to Westbrook's comment, and maybe I have more to say next.
Yes. Uncle's trying hard not to laugh. He was so proud of Jenny T.
Yeah.
Jenny saw the writing on the wall. She knows Skip Bayless ain't shit. But while things were tense on live television, that was nothing compared to what was happening off camera. Amid the fallout from Skip's misconduct allegations, Jason Whitlock came forward with an explosive claim, saying Skip had allegedly accused Jenny Taft of having a relationship with Shannon Sharpe, despite having no evidence to back it up. According to Whitlock, the accusation was so out of line that Jenny filed a formal complaint with HR.
As soon as that show was over, she ran upstairs and lit in to the executive, one executive in particular. This Skip Bayless basically just accused me of sleeping, and Jenny Taft is married, and so she was irate, and this happened on air. This dude is jealous of Shannon Sharpe, and he's seeing ghosts everywhere. And Shannon's putting those ghosts out there. Shannon walked around that place like he was banging every makeup and wardrobe girl in the place. But he has baited Skip Bayless, for lack of a better explanation, into a pimp competition. Who can have the most girls in hair and makeup like them, want to be with them? And again, Skip's mindset is competition, and I'm competing with Shannon Sharpe. And Shannon Sharpe has now baited him into the sexual Olympics, and now Skip Bayless like, oh, he's sleeping with Jenny Taft. Oh, he must be sleeping with Nusheen.
Which probably explains why, when Jenny later reflected on the end of Undisputed during an interview, she made a point to give credit to only Shannon. Despite the clear distaste that during an interview, she made a point.
I'm still very close with Shannon. He and I talked the other day. I think it's a bummer to see how a show that I really always believed in kind of ended that way. But I know Shannon's going to be doing something incredible. That's real. Shit, how you go from working with Stephen A's former partner to now working with Stephen A? That's cool as shit. You know, God was on your side with that opportunity. But if you're going to keep playing with fire, little bruh, how you expect to win? If you keep trying to put your hand in the fire, trying not to get burned.
To give credit to only Shannon. Despite the clear distaste that she had for him, Taft was too much of a professional to really air out her issues. But the same can't be said for an all-time NBA great in Charles Barkley, as when it comes to publicly hating on Skip, Chuck is the real MVP.
Facts.
He said, if I'm ever diagnosed with like a life-threatening illness, just invite Skip Bayless on the show so I can kill him on live TV.
So if I could get Skip Bayless in a room, and there we need DNA to define who it was when I got through with it.
Only thing I want to do is put my foot up Skip's ass.
Okay.
But in my opinion, I always phrase that. I don't want to be one of these idiots on these other networks act like they know everything about all sports. Skip Bayless.
Apparently, the issues between them all trace back to Skip's time as a celebrity coach at one of Spud Webb's legendary All-Star games in Dallas, where he ended up having to sub players in and out, including Charles Barkley.
But I would actually have to make substitutions with the players. So one year, Charles was on my team. I tried to introduce myself to Charles before the game, and he was uninterested in whoever the hell I was. And yet, I did have to take him in and out of the game. So near the end of the game, I leaned over and said, Charles, you want to go back in, I'd like to try to win the game. And he said, brother, I want to win the game too, but my shit hurts. And I'm like, okay, fine.
This led Skip to choose another player for a sub to help win the game, and somehow it made the tension between them worse.
And I put somebody else in, and it was Rex Chapman. So I put Rex Chapman in place of Charles, and Rex Chapman hit the game winner. That's a true story.
It's like Tony Kukoc, Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It was. Bingo. So that was as close as I ever
Okay.
got to Charles. And then as soon as I started doing this and that for ESPN in the early 2000s, he started on his tirades against me.
While that doesn't seem like it was all that serious, it nonetheless birthed a lifelong hatred, with Charles suggesting that if he had nothing left to lose, he would take Skip down with him.
If I get a disease and I'm gonna die, how about I get Skip Bayless in here and I kill him live on national television?
I like it.
I don't want to call out certain guys. No, be nice. Call him out. We know I hate Skip Bayless. And you know, Skip Bayless, the idiot, he's gonna find a way to blame LeBron, even though those guys have played 6 bad games. Because I just want to get Skip Bayless in a room one time and just hit him like a dog.
Okay, so you
Yes. If I'm gonna live, I don't want to be in prison because, as Mahorn say, they would love you in prison.
This has been a persistent rhetoric from Charles, one which repeatedly affected Skip and his family, to the point that his wife claims that she fears for his safety.
My wife Ernestine has believed for 15 years that Charles Barkley is nothing but a sick individual. To her, he is just pure evil. He is depraved. He is a scumbag. And she believes or fears that one day Charles will somehow, maybe unwittingly or maybe wittingly, inspire some other nut to end my life. And this haunts her. This hurts her because she believes that in the end, Charles Barkley would have my blood on his hands. And if that were Charles's goal from the start, if that was his goal, then I congratulate him because he wins on this one. He has hurt my wife deeply, and she has lost much sleep over this. And I said,
Damn.
look, I don't care about any of the other criticism. He can rip, he can slash, he can say whatever he wants. Just for Ernestine's sake, could he please stop using the K word? Please no more kill.
Despite Skip's pleas, Charles won't let up, and he isn't afraid to kick him while he's down.
Because he's so sensitive and shit. But I think as a player, the first thing, instead of just automatically assuming the guy don't like you or he's wrong, ask yourself, is the criticism fair?
Also claiming he didn't like how Skip
Yeah.
never admits when he's wrong.
But also, he brags about it when he gets it right. Like, he'll get 2 out of 5 right. He brags about the 2 instead of saying the 3 he got wrong. And see, I hate guys like that.
He even joined in on everyone roasting him following the buyout from Shannon Sharp, using it as a way to playfully take shots at his old debate partners.
I read an article today. You read something? I did. Okay. If you work with a damn idiot, they'll buy you out. So, I'm saying, I read it. I saw it. But apparently, if you work with a damn idiot, they'll buy you out. So, I just want y'all to know, I'm open to the bout.
Although this beef is very much intact, Skip still lobbied for him to replace Shannon at Undisputed, but in a way that was in no way complimentary.
Charles Barkley would be my dream debate partner on Undisputed. I would dive out of bed every morning out here in Los Angeles at 2 o'clock in the morning to get to work with Charles. Please, Charles, please come and please work with me. All I'd have to do is let Charles go first and listen to him make a fool of himself. I get to sit back and watch him walk himself right into an indefensible trap. I wouldn't even have to try. So please, 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 Charles, come be this damn idiot's debate partner. Please let me annihilate you on a daily basis.
Despite all the shots that he's taken at Skip over the years, Charles Barkley didn't seem to take any pleasure in watching his downfall. In fact, on the Dan Patrick Show, he claimed that wasn't really the case at all, even if people assumed he'd be celebrating it.
But Skip Bayless isn't around anymore, so you don't have to worry about him.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad for the guy. I didn't like the guy, but I feel bad. I feel bad because I don't want bad things to happen to other people.
But Charles is far from the only NBA star who's had enough of Skip's antics. Because if there's one player who's never been afraid to clap back and hit even harder, it's Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Over the course of his career, Kevin Durant has made it abundantly clear that he has no time for Skip, even going out of his way to let him know that "I really don't like you" on Twitter in December of 2021. And this wasn't some one-off moment either, because not long ago, KD found himself back in Skip's crosshairs, with Bayless boldly suggesting that Durant had basically checked out on his team.
The more I watch him at age 36, the more he looks mentally semi-retired to me. He's participating in a documentary that's being made about his life and times, and it just feels to me like he's winding down his basketball. And it's reflecting in the Suns' one-loss record, because they started off 8-1 this year. Since then, they've gone 20-31. They're 28-33 overall as we speak. That's 4 games out of the play-in, even though Kevin is putting out tremendous numbers. Kevin Durant style numbers. He's averaging 27, 6, and 4, shooting 53% from the floor and 40% from 3, but they just don't guard because they don't seem to care. They look lifeless to me. They are the flip side of the team at the top of the West standings, the team Kevin started with. That team is motivated to go places. The Phoenix Suns just look like they're done to me because Kevin looks like he's on his last mental legs.
And once again, KD didn't hesitate to clap back at him, declaring, "Fuck it, we're both washed. It was a great run." To no one's...
Oh man, the Twitter finger god himself, the Slim Reaper, Kevin Durant, strikes again. That's funny as shit.
Surprise, Skip didn't just let it slide. He later doubled down, explaining exactly where he stood on the situation.
Okay, maybe I'm washed, but I definitely don't think KD is physically washed. His body looks great, long and sinewy as ever, no loss of quickness or spring that I can see or tell. No, I'm talking intangibles. Hunger, burning desire to win, to sacrifice, to do whatever it takes. Kevin won his MVP. He won his 2 finals MVPs. He has dominated international basketball the way nobody has ever dominated international basketball. What's left?
While KD clearly isn't fond of Skip, he showed a bit more patience than some of the other athletes who've had to deal with his constant criticism. A prime example of this would actually be KD's former teammate, Russell Westbrook, who has routinely been a punching bag of his throughout his entire career. He even earned his infamous nickname, Westbrick, from the pundit. For the most part, Russell kept it moving and ignored the noise, but there was one instance where he clearly felt it went too far and let it be known. As the Lakers considered drafting Max Christie, a prospect whose 3-point percentages weren't all that impressive, Bayless took to Twitter saying he'll fit in right with LeBron and Westbrook. Immediately, fans didn't exactly understand why he was fixating on Russell at a time like this. On draft night, you'd be tweeting about Westbrook. You are a weirdo. But after years of his hate and good humor, Westbrook finally took exception to it and let him know that he could catch the hands for less. Watch your mouth. Don't say anything you wouldn't say to my face. Afterwards, Skip refused to back down, asking for a debate as opposed to a confrontation in the vein that Westbrook was looking for.
Hey, Russell Westbrook. Happy to talk face-to-face about the nickname I believe I originated in 2012. Join me on TV/podcast. Let's talk about how you'll make $47 million next year after being the worst three-point shooter in the NBA. Most overpaid player ever? Please join me.
And while Skip might have treaded lightly when it came to Charles Barkley, he's never shown the same caution with Russell Westbrook. Even now, he still throws jabs at Russ, claiming that he's not the player people hyped him up to be, just like he did nonstop back in the Undisputed days.
All your points are valid, they're strong, they're correct. I'm sorry, he's just more trouble than he's worth.
I knew you go.
I don't see it. I wouldn't want him on my team. I don't care whether I'm 3 games under 500 like the Bulls or I think I got a shot like the Clippers to win it all. He's still first in the NBA in turnovers per 36 minutes. He has fallen now to 149th of 150 qualified three-point shooters. He's 29.6%.
Although it's not really his style, Westbrook might actually want to take Skip on that offer to debate. Cause history shows that when players confront Skip head-on, it's led to some of the most iconic moments where he's been completely torched on air. During the peak of his career, Richard Sherman had plenty of smoke for Skip, after being constantly criticized during his time with the Seahawks. Eventually, the non-stop shade pushed Sherman to confront him face-to-face on the show, and when he did, he didn't hold back one bit.
Skip can say whatever he wants, but Skip, whenever you refer to me, whenever you speak to me, whenever you address me as all-pro Stanford graduate, because those are some accomplishments you can aspire to, you will never accomplish. You have never accomplished anything.
Okay, I'll accept that. I think I've accomplished more in my field than you have in yours, though you're just getting started.
So I'm the top of my field, so I'm all-pro. I'm the best, one of the best 22 players in the NFL. You're going to brush it off, but I don't think you're the best 22 anything. In my 24 years of life, I'm better at life than you.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
Let's get down to that.
Let's not get personal here.
And while Skip struggled to prevent it from getting personal, Sherman doubled down and sought to annihilate Bayless once and for all.
I am intelligent enough, capable enough to understand that you are ignorant, pompous, egotistical, cretin. And that's really what it comes down to. And I'm going to crush you on here in front of everybody because I'm tired of hearing about it.
In this exchange, Sherman exhibited all the disgust that people often have for Skip. But it turns out that even the fiercest rivalries can cool off. Because years later, Sherman and Skip actually squashed the beef. Sherman even pulled up to Undisputed as a guest host, where the two reflected on their past clash and how far they had come ever since then.
Richard's been saying that he's already better than Darrelle Revis. And I said, I don't see that yet. Not yet.
All I can hear is the disrespect in my ear. Skip, I'm sitting there like, not even like, hey, he's in the same ballpark, or, he's coming on, or he's like, he's not even in the same stratosphere. I said, okay, this is disrespect, Skip. Skip, I'm gonna have to respond to this as soon as possible. So when I got on the show, it was like the first chance I get. I don't care the question. I'm dropping it.
You came hard.
Well, his biggest downfall may have come with his own misconduct, which ultimately derailed his TV career.
You came hard. Nigga, what?
Question. I'm dropping it.
You came hard.
Hey, man. Hey, man. What we doing, Skip? Tell some you came hard. What we doing, man?
His biggest downfall may have come with his own misconduct, which ultimately derailed his TV career. It was Skip's combative nature that made him one of the most disliked figures in both the NBA and NFL. And for that reason, fans have always relished the moments when someone finally puts him in his place, reminding him that his so-called authority isn't as untouchable as he thinks. Now that he's on the outs with mainstream media, that influence is looking shakier than ever.
Real shit. That shit, man. Fuck that boy Skip Bayless, bro, for the upteenth time. I'm sick of this motherfucker. Fuck you, Skip. Weak ass nigga. Alright. It's 2:43, y'all. I really got to skedaddle from stream. But, man, if y'all had a good time, type W's in the chat real quick for me. W's in the chat, man. I appreciate y'all for real for tuning in with me again. Whoo, boy. Now it is time to turn up. So I'm gonna leave y'all with this here. You dig?
I used to worry about the small shit, sweating over every detail. I was cautious, can't keep holding dead weight. It makes me nauseous. That's not how you move when you're surrounded by bosses.
Yeah.
And now I'm on my way up.
Ain't no turning around.
And when I'm out of town,
man, peace and love, everybody. I fuck with y'all, chat, man. Until next time. Peace. Woohoo! Yeah, nigga.
Thankful for it all.
Thankful.
Hey.